way was Eagle Rock. And that was 09. So I started brewing.
How funny is that? Old school Eagle Rock.
I
09.
know.
Like it's so crazy. But yeah.
There's a couple other little pubs around, dusty ones left over from the 90s. But other than that, there was really nowhere to go and work. So I ended up down at BJ's in Brea.
Yeah, of course.
Washing kegs.
Yeah.
I did that for 6 months.
A lot of people get their start.
BJ's.
Yeah.
Right?
BJ's is a great training
Too
ground.
bad they don't make beer anymore.
Right.
At least not in California.
Yeah.
So yeah, sort of worked my way up there. Spent about 3.5 years there.
Yeah.
For there, and then up in Oxnard as assistant brewer. In 2009, I got the brewing position at Tustin Brewing Company.
Okay,
down in
yeah,
Orange
Tustin,
County.
yeah.
So I spent 4.5 years there, kind of just running the show, making all the beer, the bar, the bottle program. So
Started a barrel program.
Yeah, barrel
Kinda-
program, barrel aging, sour beer.
Kind of training you for what was to come.
Yeah, well, I saw the production side for so long, and then
Yeah.
I got to go and like brew all my own recipes and try stuff out. I picked up some GABF medals there.
Okay.
Just picked up a couple.
Just a couple
Yeah,
medals.
just on the side, picked up a couple.
Yeah. Yeah.
What'd you
so
get?
So something was working
What
there.
were your medals you got?
So was that little time right there, because you homebrewed before, did you get a chance to experiment homebrewing? Like, was your brewing skills developed enough to really play around, or any of these recipes that you're still brewing from those days?
Yeah, some. I mean, I always like lean back and like, what was that? How did I make that again? Really what happened was I was homebrewing a lot, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a week.
Okay, yeah,
for like
yeah.
2 years
Nice.
before I started brewing professionally. When I became a professional brewer, I got a lot better at homebrewing.
Yeah.
And then once I got to Tustin, I could make my own beers on a full-blown scale. And
That's
so
awesome.
we actually have the same size brew house at our brewery that we did in Tustin.
Okay,
so
yeah.
like a lot of stuff was just like
Easy transformation there
just
for
translate
you.
it.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
great. You did mention you won a couple medals out there. What were the medals that you picked up out there?
The first one was a gold for a blonde ale.
Okay, nice.
Super simple,
Mm-hmm.
clean beer. We did the base beer for this porter. Got a bronze. We did gold for this coffee porter.
Wow.
And then recently we did the silver for the Kumquat Saison.
Oh wow! So this coffee porter did win a gold,
It did.
and I've been
That
rooting it for the Smog City side. I didn't even know it had already won.
Yeah,
a gold.
yeah. So
Well, see, there you go. Justified.
that's right. You knew all along.
I knew all along it was a gold medal.
You got that gold medal palette, Tino.
I really don't. No, I really don't. Great beer. Great story. You guys have been here for how long has Smog City been giving Torrance such great beers?
Well,
We've
we
been
launched
giving-
Smog in
We've been giving
2000.
Torrance love since 13.
Yeah, but we
So
launched
since-
Smog in 2011.
Oh, okay. Okay, self-distribute, or do you guys
We used to.
used to?
Here he comes.
He
Get that
needs
bottle
more
out of
beer.
there.
He heard gold medal and he was like, oh,
He needs
blocking
more.
his-
Hey, can I get
Let
more?
me get some of that.
Pop that other
Blocking
bottle.
his camera view.
Oh,
Like, I
shit.
won't look at that.
Hey.
We started in 2011, October of 2011. Actually, this year was our 4th year, and we were very, very small for that first amount of time. And then as we were launching Smog City out of Tustin, we were looking for a location, looking for a home.
Yeah.
We'd been living in LA since 2002. And knew we were going to bring it up, hence the Smog City name, but the launch in Tustin. Obviously, we weren't OC people. And then we found Torrance, found that home in 2013, and just hit the ground running.
Yeah. I remember when you first opened up, there was a dude at Beechwood. He's like, they named it Smog City. They're bagging on my town. And he was like upset that you guys had named it. So you got a little backlash from that? Did you hear some?
In the beginning, we got a
Tiny.
lot.
No.
Oh, really?
I did.
Yeah?
Come on.
All right.
Dude, the
I
OC
didn't.
guy, they're doing, man, back in the 70s, you couldn't even fly a plane.
We really cleaned it up.
Yeah, we really cleaned it up.
You
I'm like,
couldn't
well,
go to school.
It's still dirty, man.
It's fitting.
It's a lot better.
And you guys actually have a really cool logo. What goes into that? Because that's a huge part of what you are as a brand, as a beer. How much time do you spend on coming up with a logo before you put out your brand?
All of the time.
Is
Yeah,
it? And then how do you
Well,
know when it's right? How do
it
you?
has-
It just feels right to you. It looks right to you.
It has to be a perfect melding across the board, right?
Yeah.
You can't just make beer and then just make a brand.
Whatever logo.
They
yeah.
have to meld
Kinda
and they have to coalesce into this perfect.
They have the same feeling.
thing.
They have the
Yeah.
same feeling.
And
throughout.
I think for us, having a small business like craft beer mostly is really just a mirror or reflection of yourself.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so we sort of took Smog City and said, who are we? Who are we as a business?
Yeah.
And then he has a huge background in graphic design
Okay.
and printing and saw a lot of logos. So he came with a lot of creativity and knowing how to do great design, but he also knew what designs didn't work. And so we spent a lot of time working on what we were going to make, what it was going to look like, how we wanted to display our logos,
Yeah.
and even down to like technical stuff, like can we do it with one color?
Yeah.
Can you recognize it from 20 feet away?
And then like this logo here, do you have an artist? Because this is one of my all-time favorite logos of any beer. Great artwork on a lot of your stuff. Of course, your sour series, very simple, which a lot of sour series are. But your logos on the Smog City, awesome artwork. Do you have one artist? Do you guys kind of just get whatever?
The logo was one of the first things we designed. We had a lot of help with that.
Yeah.
We sort of came up with the concept.
We conceptualized it.
Yeah, and then I don't know. We give them the short story.
We had some friends who own a movie poster company, and they'd come from a company that we had recently left, and they offered to do it for us because they wanted to do something interesting, and we traded beer for it. It was the best trade we've ever done.
Right? Yeah.
And we conceptualized it with them. They worked on it, and they eventually farmed it out to a who grew it and illustrated it for us.
Yeah, it's got a really great look to it, and it's always one of those things. You're staring at the fridge full of 10,000 beers, and you got to look. The logo's what kind of grabs you. You like your style or whatever, but that's what gets you. And the first time what got me out to your brewery is I have this huge growler collection. You guys have the coolest fucking growlers in town. I have this huge growler collection, and I was like, gotta add that. Gotta go get that. And the first time I went to your brewery a couple years ago was to get one of your really awesome fucking growlers with, of course, great beer in it.
Right.
Well,
It doesn't hurt.
it doesn't matter if you have a product if your beer can't follow suit, right? You'll never come back to our place.
So tell us about your tap room. Your tap room's open Wednesday through Sunday. What are the hours that you got going on in the tap room?
Well, they're soon to change, but Wednesday through Friday we're 4 to 9 p.m. Saturday and Sunday we open at noon. Saturday's till
Nice
8.
little cozy warehouse style
Yeah.
brewery. You got a bunch of barrels. You're sitting amongst the barrels.
We
You
got a couch now.
You get all the brewery smells and all the
couches.
brewery. You got
Two
couches.
couches?
We got
have
two
two
couches.
couches.
Moving
now.
on
Does,
up.
do either of them pull out? Because Dino might.
I need a
be
place to
passing out
sleep
there.
most of the time.
You'll be good.
Yeah,
And you
it's
know
long.
what? I'll just crash at Monkish. They'll have me. They don't care. I'll sleep on their grain bags that they have as chairs. Great. That's another great part that you guys are neighbors to such a great brewery. And it's great to have close breweries. You guys everybody gets to stumble across and have the two completely different style breweries
different
right
experiences,
next
totally.
to each other. A great Torrance in its own sense has so many great breweries all around that area. You got to throw in kind of El Segundo. You throw in, Phantom Carriage, Strand.
We call it the South Bay. It's great.
Yeah,
And,
Absolution's got their new spot kind of over there. Is it over there?
It is.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not that far.
Haven't been in the new spot yet. But
Well, they haven't moved.
Strand
moved.
moved. Is that? I think Absolution is going to move her because we had them on. Yeah. But a great place to visit for a beer geek. You
Yeah,
you
for
gotta
sure.
bounce around and get all types of different flavors.
You definitely get a lot of bang for your buck down in the South Bay.
Cody, your
Little beer
glass is
tour.
empty, and we still gotta get a beer rating. Do you got enough left on your palate? Should I pop another bottle here?
Oh man.
He's feeling this. It's been a
He's
long
little rough
weekend.
around the edges.
Wow, buddy, you look
at
better. You look better a couple hours ago. What happened?
Yeah, I should have been in bed.
Well, it's now 9, right? It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we got up
10
at
o'clock. 9
4 o'clock California time this morning
Yes, we did.
after a few beers. Or following up.
Man,
This
right? You
coffee
need a night
porter
off.
though is really just picking me up. You can't tell yet, but it's going through my veins. I'm starting to feel it. We love this beer. We always have it. It just pours that deep dark brown. You get a lot of that coffee, roasted malts, chocolate in the nose. in the flavor, there's a lot of coffee, but it's not like that bitter coffee or that like dark chocolate bitter coffee. That's there. That adds complexity. That adds layering, but it's not overly bitter. It's really balanced and smooth. Just as it warmed up a little bit, more flavors came out, more aromas came out. Overall, a really good, solid coffee porter. 6% Smog City coffee porter. What more
Let's
is there
talk
to
about
say?
what kind of coffee you use. What coffee did you use on this coffee porter?
We use the same coffee we've always used. It is made by Groundwork.
Groundworks coffee.
Yep, 25-year-old coffee roaster in Los Angeles.
You know, I've always said this on the show. He's a coffee drinker. Are you guys coffee drinkers?
Oh, yeah.
Not even a coffee drinker, but this coffee beer thing, I can really get into that. It's just such a great marriage. Coffee just seems to, whatever happens there, it cuts down all that bitterness, and it just becomes this great roasty, chocolate, delicious treat for me. It's really a great thing. This has always been one of my favorite coffee porters. Of course, now everybody in the mamas has got coffee porters all over the place.
Everything.
Coffee everything, espresso, whatever, you know, and I do love them. I like most of them. This beer, a great beer for me.
Great beer.
It's got so much chocolate up front. Chocolate and coffee. That's what I meant to say. But that coffee is huge up front. Aroma pops in your mouth immediately, and then you get a bunch of chocolate, and they think I get a bunch of vanilla at the kind of tail end. My palate's getting some vanilla flavors towards the tail end.
Something really interesting on that is I was doing some research on Groundwork today because we're building our sell sheets to send out for sales reps. And I actually looked up the beer description or the coffee description for the blend that we use. And it says toasted marshmallow and dark chocolate.
Yeah,
And
no,
the
totally.
key to marshmallow is vanilla.
Yeah,
right?
totally,
go.
totally. And really, I get a bunch of it in the back end for me. It kind of trails off into this great vanilla, chocolatey deliciousness. A good.
It's interesting, right?
We call it a good linger. We call it.
Got
That's what
that
we
good
call it.
linger.
It just leaves you wanting more. Your palate's kind of puckering up on the dryness and the bitterness of the coffee. It's got great mouthfeel. Everything about it. I told you guys before. I've been rooting for this beer for a couple years. I'll show you how the beer ranking systems work. If you're a first-time listener, we rate beers by beards. 4 Viking beards, 4 Ninja.
Yeah, just 4
Fu Manchus, whatever
stinky
you
ass
wanna call it.
dready beards.
Yeah,
It's the
those-
best beer you've ever
Those
had.
are great beards too.
Clean shaven face is the worst beer
Did
you've
Willy
ever had.
Wonka have a beard?
Willy Wonka.
Because it would be a good beard for him. That would be a good
No, but
combination for this.
nobody should have.
Yeah, he
he
should
should have
have,
had
yeah.
a chocolate beard.
right?
That should be
Edible
Yes,
chocolate
an
beard.
edible
Well,
chocolate beard that
when we
he grows
when we
every
got
day.
when we do our chocolate show, we'll make sure to rate it by chocolate beards,
Okay.
and that'll happen.
Deal.
So what do you give this coffee porter?
This is a 3.8.
Smog
This
City?
is an easy 3.8 out of 4.
3.8 beer.
I bet you it's one of the highest first beer rankings that we've had in a long time. But it's just always been one of my favorites. I don't know why it's not perfect. I can't tell you why I didn't rate it a 4, but
It's only 6%.
6% maybe, yeah.
Right.
Because you could pack more flavor in a high alcohol beer. I've
Yeah.
always
Right.
said that too. We've always talked about making a stronger version
Just
of
an
this.
imperial or whatever.
See
Yeah.
what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Right.
I'm ready for that.
We'll taste
come,
test that
yeah,
for
I'll
you.
come over.
For sure.
I'll come over and drink a whole barrel and just tell you if it's okay.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Dino. Just all around good coffee, chocolate flavors. I see what you're saying. Little background, vanilla. I think that's what really smooths it out in terms of the flavors. I'm gonna give it 3.75 beards.
Nice.
7.5. All right, Saint Diesel over there pressing all the fake claps and the fake cheering, bomb noises, whatever else
Those
is
are
going
fake.
off. Those are real. That's a real crowd. Never
There's
mind
a
about
studio
that.
audience, I
In
thought.
studio, let's audience.
Dino just pretends they ain't there.
Audience.
Yeah.
It's better for me to
Right.
pretend
It's
that
a
the
mental
audience
thing.
isn't there.
Yeah.
Saint, did you get some beer?
Yeah, I think the balance between the coffee and the chocolate is right on point. Super good flavor, aroma, taste. I can't find nothing wrong with it. So ain't nothing wrong with it.
Four.
Four beers.
When there ain't nothing wrong with it, what can you say? It's a perfect beer.
They were
Perfect beer.
killing it.
You're killing it.
Let's just go home now.
Right? Levi, you're on top like George, just like out.
I'm done.
Lee,
Leave
while
on
you're
that
on
high
top,
point.
Definitely. Great beer.
Awesome.
Great beer.
of course, I had something
nothing
totally
wrong
locked and
with
loaded to say, and I forgot about it, and that happens quite a bit right here on this show live. 562-653-0707 if you want to call in. Ask these guys any question you want.
We got Porter and Lori in studio from Smog City. Call in,
This
ask
beer,
some questions.
this beer is obviously ready to go. When you guys bottle it, release it, it's ready to drink.
Yeah.
How long can you put this thing on a shelf? Do you suggest even putting it on a shelf at all?
We don't, and because it's so good fresh.
Yeah, and it's coffee that's just going to turn into bitterness, correct? It's not going to
Well-
really turn into great flavors, that coffee, if you hold on to it. Or do you think?
Well, I mean, knock on wood, some of the bitterness falls out. It gets
Yeah.
a little chocolatier.
Okay.
We call this our bulletproof beer. So if there's any beer that's like gets abused around the place, it's this one.
Yeah, it could take the abuse.
I've had 6, 8, 9, maybe a year old beer, and I'm like, this ain't great, but I'd still drink it.
Really?
And when you say that's that old,
Yeah.
You know how a lot
That's-
of coffee beers get like this like jalapeno skin.
Yeah,
thing
of course,
happening?
of course.
It never happens to this beer, and I can't tell you why. I think it's because
Yeah.
we put so much. Coffee
Is that the
into it.
secret? It's just overloaded.
Yeah, it just can't oxidize or whatever that reaction.
It's a
Triumph.
great beer, and that's how that's how it's gonna go. I think that's the first break we're gonna take right here on DFZ Radio. We'll be back after we play a short interview, and probably a Saint Diesel original. This guy's been bumping all his music lately. We used to play music and we can't anymore because you have to pay for songs and stuff.
Blah, blah, blah.
Like, come on.
Licensing.
So we're gonna play some of our own stuff here, and we'll be back in a couple minutes with lots more beers and Smog City. Call in anytime you want. DFZRadio.com.
DFCRadio.com.
Oh shit, here I am at the Beer Buzz Masquerade 2015, walking around, checking out people's costumes, just finding out what's going on. Oh shit, is that fucking Mad Max?
It is Mad Max.
Holy shit, why the fuck are you so mad, Mad Max?
I just don't have enough of beer yet.
You didn't have in the world you're in, you didn't have any water, you didn't have any fucking beer, now that's why you're so mad.
No gas.
No fucking gas, oh my god.
No ass and no grass.
No ass and no grass, yeah dude, where the fuck is the grass in the movie?
Who knows?
Who knows? But hey, but you're Mad Max and you're fucking always having a sack. Why didn't you bust it out and smoke a blunt on the screen?
I have none.
What the fuck, you're Mad Max, dude? There was nothing in the future with weed.
Oh, this contraption you got.
That's my Ghostbusters contraptions, bro.
Ghost, all right, I see.
You know the movie I'm in, Ghostbusters.
Venkman.
That's right. Excuse me, ma'am. I see that you're a nurse at the Masquerade Beer Buzz event here in City of Industry.
Yes, I am.
Are you a 420 nurse?
I am actually. Yeah.
You are?
Very good.
Yeah, I can tell because, like, all the gear you got going on here, I can see that you're all down with that 420 shit.
Got all the comfort and care you need right here, baby.
Damn, and if you guys didn't come out to the Beer Buzz freaking Masquerade, you're missing out on this damn comfort and pillows and niceness and hot chicks, because
All the good stuff.
yes, and the nurses here, they're better looking than the 420 nurses. That's why I had to ask her. She said she was a 420 nurse, but no, she's fucking not. She's hotter than that. So anyways,
Babe.
yeah, no, thank you, babe. All right. What kind of beers are you looking for when you come out to a Beer Buzz event?
Well, my favorite beers to try are actually the stouts and the porters. I have an open mind, though. I'll try, some watermelon IPAs and whatnot. I'm really a fan of sours as well, so I'm up for anything, really.
Wow, you got such a sweet heart. I can't believe that. You're so kind and giving. You're just too good to be true. Anyways, thank you for coming onto the DFZ Radio Network Beer 30 show. I want to say thank you on behalf of the network. And keep on keeping on, girl, because you're looking lovely tonight.
Thank you, sweetie. Thank you for having me. I've had a great time tonight.
Right on, me too. Keep on keeping on, girl. I'll see ya.
Side diesel in my blunt, I no drink in my cup. Someone tell the DJ, crank it on up. Side diesel in my blunt, I no drink in my cup. Someone tell the DJ, crank it on up. Yeah, crank it up, crank it
We're back. We're right back here on DFZRadio.com. Beer 30. Phone number 562-653-0707. If you call in while we're on break, we might just be on break. So call in now, and we'll definitely pick up the phone if you want. 562-653-0707. Again, our guest today is Smog City Brewing out of Torrance, California. Kind of knocked it out of the park there with your first beer. I don't know how you're going to follow that. How do you follow the coffee porter? You follow it with saber-tooth fucking squirrel. Is what you, so tell us a little bit about this beer, please.
So we call this our Hoppy American Amber.
Okay.
So as not to confuse it with like amber IPAs or amber beers that are not hoppy.
Yes, is that what American means when you put American on a beer? Is just strong or hoppy?
American used to mean more alcohol,
More
hops.
alcohol, yeah.
I don't
and
know if that's true anymore, but I like to think that it is.
I like to think that is.
So
That's right.
We're
That's
America, and we do it big.
We,
right,
we,
we
do,
do more
we
hops.
do everything overloaded.
Well, West Coast, everything has to have more hops.
It does, and I think our palates are just built that way.
Seriously.
Too much spicy Mexican food. I don't know what it is, but we need that extra. A little
That's
bit
it,
extra.
man. Everybody I mean, did you find any of the beers overly hoppy when you guys were traveling?
No, we never do.
Yeah, that's everyone's complaint when they go to the East Coast. No offense to anybody out there.
Even
But
in Denver,
you
I
need
was
hops.
surprised. We went out for GABF, and I was just hurting to get a overhopped IPA.
Yeah.
Of course, when you go into the festival, you're going to get as much as you want.
Right.
But in the city alone, I was just like, man, like, and nobody even cared. They were like, yeah, IPAs, like, whatever, bro. And I was like, fuck, man. Like, I'm hurting over here. I'm going through withdrawals. Like, just put some dry hops in my shit real quick. Something. like I need
A
it.
little hop oil.
But this beer smells so great, and it's another fresh beer. We got lucky with all the good freshy beers.
Yeah, good timing.
Couple day old beer. Great aroma on this thing. What hops do you use on this one?
This beer started out as a response to buying some of those pre-blended hops that they sell, Falconer's Flight 7Cs. And during the hop shortage, they'd like blended a bunch of stuff together to sort of approximate some of the rarer varieties.
Whoa, okay.
So I bought some of those to try it out, and they were like, it was advertised as the IPA hop. And I made an IPA, and I was like, this beer, I think these hops need more malt. So we made an amber beer and dry hopped the crap out of it with Falconer's Flight, 7Cs, Chinook, and Centennial. So sort of like new school, old school. And so we've kind of dialed it in since then. But the one thing that I really like about, and I'm pretty sure it's the Falconer's Flight, something about the combination of the malt character gives this weird like peach aroma that I don't get from those hops in other beers, or like I don't even know.
No, you definitely you definitely get a peach aroma. It's actually a really awesome aroma, and it kind of combines with a little fresh hop flavor on the aroma. The taste is just so smooth. Yeah. It's got that dryness that a kind of a hop, obviously a hot beer would give you, but that amber flavor, which has a nice little slight malt backbone. It's super smooth.
Caramel, kind of toasty, a little bready.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's all balanced and clean.
A nice light mouthfeel, really crisp. You can tell this beer is just fresh. It's all fresh. It's drinking so good right now. The Saber-Tooth Squirrel, it has another one of these great labels on it. Who is the artist again? And how the hell do I get him to do like a tattoo for me or something?
You can't have him. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, we lucked out. Our head brewer of ours that has recently left, Chris Walowski, introduced us to his best friend, this guy, Ryan Cochran. He is a senior creative art director at Speedo.
Oh,
and he really utilizes us as his creative outlet. We give him a lot of license.
He gets to play around instead of just doing the same Speedo thing.
Yeah.
Well, he does the big picture work.
Yeah, that's good. But this is a lot more fun. This is a lot more playful, and it's kind of like new school. You know what I mean by the tattoo style, like new school art. It reminds me a little of that.
Yeah, we were really inspired by people like Dogfish Head and Odell's, who do beautiful artwork on their labels. Their they're the kind of work that you look at and you're like, I wish I could put that on my wall
Yeah.
or on my body if you're a tattoo guy.
I don't even have one, but I'll take one of these
right?
guys.
And we come from an art background, you know. That's what we love. So beer is craft, and
Beer
the
is
labels
art.
are just as much
Yeah.
art, and it's it's all bringing it together into one thing for us.
So beer is art to me, and I'm just a beer drinker. It's got to be on a whole another level for a brewer.
Yeah.
Getting into home brewing, when did you know that this was it? This is what I want to do. What was that thing? You just a great beer that you made, or what was the step that was made?
Wasn't it the Ron Ale Reagan that pushed you over?
When President Reagan died, I was living in Bel Air. Apparently, there's a house that he used to own, or was still in the family up the road, and I was like, I'm gonna brew this beer for Ronald Reagan. And I designed a label and everything for him.
You're so
And it said
patriotic.
Zesty. Yeah, it's great.
Ron Ale Reagan.
Ron L. Reagan. And so that was the one. It was just like
I don't know if that was.
It's
really
just
the
a
one,
funny
but
beer name. Is that
that's
why you
my-
brought it up?
I did make it. I think that was the only beer I actually made a label for.
That's
it.
how I feel.
Okay.
I feel like that was the one where he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make a beer label. I'm gonna take this to the next level." We had no idea we'd end up here. Really.
Yeah. So both photographers at one point, and then basically we're like, all right, we got to do something real. We got to have something brick
I'm
and
not gonna
mortar
take
or
offense at that.
brick and mortar or something. You know, I don't know. Like, what was the choice of moving on from that to this?
Well, I was a photographer up until we had our kid,
Oh, okay.
and then he went off. He took the other route earlier than I did.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know when I left. I just knew that I didn't want to do that
Yeah.
anymore. And I also knew that
Yeah.
I left the printing world at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I wanted to like own a brewery, but I wanted to go see what it was like to work in a brewery. And then I found that I really enjoy working with my hands rather than sitting in a computer all day.
Yeah, definitely.
And being active.
And you're already in love with the industry, the people in the industry, and beer,
There wasn't
obviously.
really
And the
an
beer.
industry though in
Uh,
2006.
Yeah, especially here in LA. Especially here in LA. You go down to San Diego and you can drink some beer.
Yeah.
But up here, it wasn't much going on.
Right.
Few and far between liquor stores who even had a decent
I
selection.
know.
You know what I mean? But today we're so spoiled, and it shows.
Yeah.
And it really does show.
I still remember my first time going to San Diego with Porter to go to the original Stone Brewing
Yeah.
facility, and walking in, and there was this like grumpy woman sitting behind a weird dark, register.
Yeah.
And she gave us, I think, some tokens or something, and then we walked into this warehouse, and there were basically kegerators, like
Yeah.
5 kegerators and a couple of tabletops. And I looked around, like, this is a brewery? Really?
Yeah.
It's so weird, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love being in an industrial wasteland drinking great beer.
Right. Yeah.
But it was such a crazy experience because I'm so used to going to a bar or
Yeah.
a restaurant
Yeah.
or drinking beer at home, and going into the facility. And then literally they just had like wire, like chains separating me from the brewery,
Like we have.
which is what we have.
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
And I love that.
You just reinvented your first brewery session
Without the
With-
grumpy
without-
girl at the front.
Without the grumpy girl.
Yeah.
The experience is crafted so much. Like, so when we built our place, we wanted to have a place where you walked in and you were like in the brewery.
Yeah.
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 So
no.
you do. We use that space when tap room's not open, where there's pallets of crap and kegs and shit spilled on the floor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as a consumer, I love that feeling too. I love going to breweries, and we went to Sierra Nevada, and I had mixed feelings about that huge facility. I was like, yeah, it's cool, and it's a beer mecca thing. But it's not. It's not what I think of when I think of craft beer, mom and pop. Go down to the local spot, get a great beer. It's the opposite of what I think. It's really just looks like Disneyland. And everything's so shiny and perfect. I was kind of like, do I love it? I don't really. I don't know. But it was huge. It was awesome. Sierra Nevada always had the great beer back in the days. I still love a lot of the things they do.
Of course.
Yeah.
But of course, I drink nothing but pale ale back in the days.
Right.
It's just one of those things. I love the feeling of that small warehouse style brewery. And you guys obviously nailed it over there. This beer is nailing it too. What are you thinking, struggling guy?
Yeah, it's really. Back to that. Like, I remember I took my parents on a little brewery tour, and they had never been to a brewery, and they didn't know what to expect. And we pulling up to warehouses and everything,
And give a little
And-
give a little background on your parents. They're kind of hippie type folk.
yeah. Yeah, they're hippie folk, whatever. You know, they might much rather go to like a pot farm or something. But
Okay.
we're pulling
I
to
didn't
like
need that much background, but yeah, I just wanted to explain like what type of style
Are there
people
tasting
there.
rooms at pot farms?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, if there are,
If
there
you
are
know
now.
the right
then, you
people.
know.
No, but and just pulling and just anyone new or anything, pulling up to like nice warehouse, and then you half the time you're meeting the owner, the brewers,
Yeah, right
people
there.
who are
They're
intimately
serving
involved.
your beers.
You see the equipment that it's done with, and it becomes so much more of an experience than just tasting beer in like a bar or something.
It's funny. Do people ask you like, do you do beer tours? And you're like, yeah, it's right here. Tour it. Like,
lot of it,
You're
yeah.
just like, check it
We
out.
kind of go that. Yeah, that's it.
You're like,
There's not really more to show you.
If you
I'm
walk over
sorry.
Beer
there, you
tour
can see the
done.
rest.
Yeah.
beer tour.
Yeah,
Finished.
I actually think that's a really key element to the growth of craft beer is knowing the proprietors and knowing the brewers and coming in and feeling a relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we had our anniversary party this last year in May, and at the end of it, we had like 1,200 people come through in 8 hours. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Porter came to me. He's like, I feel like we just got married.
Like
everyone's-
everybody's mobbing you.
They're they're hugging you, and they're proud of you.
Next
and
time-
they feel like they have.
Next time,
they
have
an
them bagged and
investment.
put the money
Yep.
all in.
Right?
Dude. Get to,
Yeah.
like, come on, dude.
Well, that would next time.
The money dance.
Dude, come on.
Yeah.
But I think
capitalize on that.
Craft beer fans feel an investment in their craft
Of
breweries.
course.
They feel like they're part of the growth, which
Yeah.
they are, because every dollar that comes in goes back into that facility, and they
course.
literally can see the stream.
Yeah.
They can see the growth. They can see the purchase of new tanks or the purchase of new barrels. It's a direct correlation between me give you money, you give me beer, you grow
You grow-
business.
Exactly.
And
it's
but that's
satisfying.
actually a perfect segue into all these buyouts and what's happening to craft beer in an alarming rate. And I think a lot of consumers, of course, are worried about where their money's going and how it's. And then you get invested on these breweries, and then they just go, all right, we're done. Budweiser take over or whatever, and you're just like, fuck, you know.
Yeah.
Huge boom in LA right now. 6 breweries opening in the last 6 months. You're getting
6 more.
six
in the
more
next
coming.
Year.
So it's a ridiculous growth here too. What do you guys think about all that? You guys just kind of keep your nose to the grindstone in your own brewery and let it all kind of play out, or what do you think about this going on? All this going on. it's tough.
that's a big, broad,
It's a big one.
Okay,
deep
okay.
conversation. But yeah,
That's
I
what we're here
mean,
for. We're
I
here
mean,
to talk
my-
about the
Right.
craft beer industry.
My biggest fear is back to that loyalty. Is that craft beers are passionate and they're violently passionate. They really really love their breweries and they'll do anything for their brewery. But I worry that if there are more buyouts and more sellouts, that the craft beer fan will be less willing to commit themselves to breweries and to
Right.
being loyal. I don't really think they need to worry about that. I think that the people that have sold out were clear sellouts from the beginning.
Yeah.
We knew that they were built
a
to
lot of
sell.
them were. It was no surprise.
Yeah, we weren't surprised, right? So
Yeah.
I think that if a craft beer fan is really focused on what a brewery is built on and what they're made out of, then I think they're going to know they're not going to be sideswiped by anything. But
That's very true.
It is a concern, and we have slowed down our own personal growth for Smog City to watch what happens in the industry and to see how it's going to play out. If we wanted to sell it, we would do a massive expansion and then we would just sell it
Yeah.
because now's the time.
Yeah. Exactly.
But that's not our plan. So what we want to do is build a really great support system and foundation in Los Angeles and be able to expand organically as we have over the last 4 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because we've talked a lot, like Dino said, about all the mergers and acquisitions and
Locally and non-locally.
right
Yeah.
and internationally, everything. And but at the same time, you have more brewers in the U.S. than ever. You have more variety and availability
Yeah.
for your local brewery
Best
to produce
distribution
beer.
is amazing right now. If you can't get it distributed, you can just trade anybody. The trade market is crazy. I've always wondered that kind of with the brewers. Does that kind of what do you guys feel about people coming to your brewery, get all your beer, and then they just trade it out to people? Is that something that you guys think about? because that's a huge thing in the craft beer industry.
Yeah, that sometimes it helps, sometimes it hurts.
Yeah.
Depends on the beer.
It'll get farther than you imagine.
People don't send our IPAs very far. Usually, I think they're sending like
They shouldn't.
the infinite wishes.
The
you
people
know?
who are that serious about trading, I think they know that they're not, Oh, well, plus it's just another IPA. It's like, what's
Right.
the value there?
Yeah, but your sour collections, all those things. I always wondered what the brewer thought about that because, of course, it gets farther, but there's a bunch of people just muling beers for people.
I think it's great for our brand.
Yeah.
I think it's
mean,
great to get
people
it.
in New Jersey and Florida and Maine are
All
drinking our
drink it,
beer. They
yeah.
would never have had our beer.
Right.
So it helps us.
I love the trading because I do the same thing. Where beers I never could get, I never will get to that brewery in my lifetime. But I can make one little email and send somebody. I'm lucky here in Southern California.
Oh, yeah.
We can just trade for days because we got guys like you making beers, and it's easy for us. I just always wondered what the brewer thought about that.
I think it's a good thing. I think that the more good beer gets pushed around, the more people will realize that. Listen, more breweries is good because more great beer is good. But the unfortunate part of this massive growth is that there's a lot of not good breweries.
Yeah.
So while I see growth as an overall great thing for the craft beer drinker, I also think that education is really important so people know what is good and what is not. And it's not, I don't mean that by personal preference. I mean by like flawed practices, fermentation management, brands that are more hype than quality.
Than anything else.
Exactly. Whether it's mom and pop shop or whether it's, a big company, like as long as if they're making great beer, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. No, it truly is. As long as they're making great beer, of course there's a feel, like we've talked about, of the industry that you kind of want to maintain, the industry wants to maintain. So that goes into play a little bit. But
and there's things like the Brewers Guild that help elevate
Of course,
standards and competitions that are fun but serious at the same time that help elevate quality standards and all this different diversity of breweries and everything. Like over time, the true good beers will stick around, and some of the other stuff is gonna fall off.
do you like the GABF type competitions? Does that get you up maybe each year to make something special, or is that kind of a played out type of thing where it's hype and all that too?
It's a little bit. It's both. It's not. I wouldn't say it's hype, but it does seem like a little bit like a marketing thing. But again, like have judged many competitions, not GABF specifically, but I don't know how you can drink that many of one kind of beer
and have a palate to tell somebody your beer's a winner.
Those tables, I'm sure it's hard, but I don't know.
No, I've always wondered it. It seems like the hardest thing ever to do, and then so much happens to a brewery when they win these medals, and it's huge for these breweries. So it's kind of crazy. We've learned over doing the show. Breweries will enter the same beer in 7 different categories and hope it sticks in one. Those are surprising things. You just really learn these.
Do they actually agree to that? I mean, admit that?
Yeah. On the show, it's on.
We don't do that, but I wouldn't admit to it if I did.
You're not allowed.
Terrible.
We've had a brewery on this show tell us that.
Wow.
That's the only reason why I say that. I wouldn't just make. I wouldn't know that otherwise. So yeah, we've had a brewery tell. We put it in 4 different categories, and
See
it's
what
like
happens.
yeah.
There are some competitions that don't really care because they just want they want
Money.
you to send beer so that they can then have it at their festival afterwards. Or something.
Yeah. We need to have a fucking Great American Beer 30 Festival. Send us 14,000 samples. You can
And we'll drink them in one night.
Yeah, we'll drink them all, and we'll give you our expert opinion.
And you can enter into as many categories as you want.
Just have to send a bottle for each category.
This thing drinks. It almost drinks like an IPA. That amber is almost secondary to me. Is that on purpose, or is that just what happened when you brewed the beer?
Well, we also have a super fresh example. So
Yeah,
I
this
would
is
say
super fresh.
It's like a malty IPA when it comes out of the tank.
Right.
But even in a couple of weeks, it mellows out a little bit and gets a little bit sweeter. But
amber, one of my favorite categories of beers, and it seems to be not really done by very many breweries anymore. And I love the style, especially when you Americanize it, when you beef it up a little bit, when you put some hops in it.
Yeah.
It becomes one of my all-time favorite styles, and I really feel like it's an underdone thing. Do you look out for maybe something in the industry? Do you go, hey, nobody's really doing this right now? so I'll do this, or do you kind of just organically come up with new things that you want to drink?
I think we did that in the beginning a little bit.
Yeah.
Like nobody's doing this.
Well,
Squirrel
nobody-
was definitely a niche market.
Yeah,
We
and
saw
Yeah.
Well, so we made we have our four our core brands, and we had more when we first opened.
Yeah.
We were making all the time, and then you kind of see what the market is and how much competition you have.
Yeah.
And Squirrel is sort of unique, as is Coffee Porter, because of the amount of coffee.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, there's no local.
We got to call her. We got to call her.
Yeah.
Let's bring him up while we're talking about it, huh?
Do it.
Pat, can you hear me?
What is happening?
What is happening, Pat? Hey, Pat, tell me, you know the rules. You've called into the show a few times. What are you sipping on, my friend?
I'm drinking on a Born yesterday.
Born yesterday. Where's that
Nice.
from? Tell me where's that from and how you like it.
Oh, Lagunitas.
Yeah.
They did no wrong with this one.
They did no wrong. So it's a 4 out of 4 beers. You're saying ain't nothing wrong with it.
Oh, it definitely has a 4 beard with a little chin chin chin.
4 beers and a little chin. Okay, Pat. Well, that's
and
what you're
beyond.
drinking at home, and you called into the Beer 30 show. Thank you for doing so. We have Smog City in the house today.
Yeah.
Do you have a question for them or us?
Oh, I'm just, you know me, Brandon. You know, I just do a call in and shout out to the lovely show and everything you guys do in informing people of there's actually good beer, not piss beer.
Yeah. We like getting drunk too, dude.
Yeah, I like that too. I went to a wedding over the weekend. It was a Roaring 20s wedding.
A Halloween? Roaring
Yeah.
20s?
Wow.
On Halloween. There was a wedding on Halloween, yes.
You know, that's rude. That's just rude. I got to get my holiday on your wedding, man. What the hell is up with that? No, I'm just-
Yeah.
Maybe everyone's in
different.
costume.
It was definitely different. It was good, though. It was fun. Everybody was dressed up, so that part of it was nice.
That is a fun wedding.
And they served craft beer. So when you go to a wedding that they actually bust out craft beer, I'm good with that.
That's a win-win.
You know, I got a story about a wedding that told me they were going to have craft beer, and it's actually funny because he used to do the show with me. My buddy Jim Adel is getting married. He's like, I got a bunch of great beer for you, man. It's great beer. You'll be stoked. We get there, and it's Kirkland brand variety 12 packs. And I was like, hey, thanks, man. You know,
Terrible.
good luck with you. You know, I didn't say nothing. I was like,
Damn.
you're awesome, man. Thank you so much. And I drank those shitty IPAs, and I drank them. You know, I drank a lot of them.
I think I switched to cocktails pretty quick.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
happened.
Since Pat's drinking Lagunitas, maybe you should ask him about the mergers.
Hey,
Oh.
as a beer drinker, Pat, and I bumped into this guy at GABF. This guy's a beer drinker.
Whoa.
He he goes out.
I like beer. That is one thing for sure. I will say,
As
I had an event that you would have loved yesterday, and was my wife's work was doing 50% off bottles.
oh yeah, some of these
And-
bottle shops that have a lot of old collection. They'll do a nice blowout, some kind of
Clean
vintage
out.
shit. You
Did
know,
you pick up some Smog City there? Or
She
what happened?
picked up one. You might have heard of it. It's called Blackfest Bourbon Aged Stout.
from
And
where?
It's a 18% alcohol, made by McKellar.
Oh, Mickler. How do you guys pronounce McKellar? Everybody.
I call it McKellar.
I call it
I don't
Mickler. I don't. I guess
I call it McKellar, but I've heard Mickler is actually right.
Yeah, I always called it. Okay. Anyways, great beer. It's kind of one of those things as a beer thing. You can find these random bottle shops that'll do these blowouts on some vintage stuff. Maybe something that's been sitting around for a long time. 50% off sounds like a great deal on anything that's been shelved correctly. Hopefully that thing will be nice and simmered down by now because that sounds like that's a high ABV. So hopefully that thing's going to be drinking smooth for you, Pat.
Well, you saw me. You know the size of me, Brandy. I've been in there before. I'm tiny.
Yeah, you're like 110 pounds. You're tiny.
I'm 110 because it's raining outside right now and I'm soaking wet. So that's how I get to 110 pounds.
You're a guy. You're a tiny guy. I want to thank you for calling in, Pat. I thought we had a question.
We were going to ask him about mergers.
Yeah, mergers. So as a consumer,
I did not forget.
what do you think about all these buyouts? Has any of your favorite breweries fallen to the wayside? Do you have an opinion about any of them?
I mean, some of them I'm not too big a fan of.
Yeah.
When it becomes a business side of things, and you build the difference in my opinion is you get the smaller ones who kind of sell out and go to separate to bigger conglomerates, whatever you want to call it. But a guy like Lagunitas, who, he really passionately built his company, and then it's not like he just hoarded money and didn't say, hey, I need to build a distribution center in Chicago. No, he went out there and he did his thing, and his whole thing behind Heineken is I want to be able to get my beer in anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Well,
and that
you're a globetrotter, bro. I understand how it is, bro. You need your beer everywhere you go.
I don't think I have read a lot of articles that saying that the big one that's going through, or at least trying to go through at the current moment, what is it?
The merger.
Budweiser and Miller, or Miller and
AB and
distro.
SAB
Yeah.
Miller.
Oh, it's gonna be
that
BMC,
one.
dude.
I've heard a lot of. I have like a lot of business
Bowel
things on
movement
my stuff.
Yeah.
I don't see that one going through.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think that will be finally approved because of.
Yeah, there's a
They
lot
might,
going
they
on
might
there.
have to sell off
That-
some brands.
That's
Yeah.
I think it's reportedly like $150 billion deal or something like that. So there's a lot of things happening with that. I think there's a lot of red tape they're gonna have to run through.
They don't really care about the American market in that respect. They're going after the foreign market. That's what InBev wants. They want Africa, and they want the other things that
in Latin
really-
America.
There's
SAB
money
Miller has a
everywhere.
really
There's
good
money
Latin
everywhere.
America
Yeah,
presence.
they can sell off all the.
But in the United States, it's the luxuries. I guess it's a luxury and a love-hate relationship. Is you can't have a conglomerate, and if that deal goes through, that's more than 75% of the distribution market to one company, and that's not allowed to happen according to business.
Well, let's hope it doesn't happen, Pat. I want to thank you for calling in. If you have another question or anything you want to throw out before we let you go, do so right now.
And Pat, you're up there in Reno, Tahoe area, right?
Killing the game.
I
Are your
the
guys'
Reno-
beers heading up there? Got anything?
No.
Unless you're traded.
Yeah.
Hey.
Anybody want to trade some Tahoe Mountain beers? Those barrel.
There you go.
Those Tahoe Mountain beers there's some of those that are really special.
Yeah.
I went to.
And then there's a couple companies doing things around here that are, there's a whole battle right now between the word Lake Tahoe Brewing, basically, because there's a company called Brewer's Cabinet, and they brew Tahoe beer, and then there's Lake Tahoe Brewing Company, which is that guy. I don't know who the gentleman is. I've never met him. But I do know he came out like he's hitting grand slams. I mean, he's bought 4 different locations. He's got one in Tahoe. He's got one in Reno. He's got one in Carson.
And
he's
he'll
got
be
one
bought
in-
by InBev in 2 years.
Or bankrupt.
Or yeah, either way. Well, if you're ever down here in the L.A. South Bay area, make sure you get yourself some Smog City.
We'll get him some
Pat.
Smog City. I know some Pat. Pat, hit me up anytime on the Facebook or Instagram, and we'll get you some. If you don't know Smog City, I'll be glad to hook you up.
I'll be happy to send down whatever you guys want to try from up here in these neck of the woods.
Oh yeah. All right, man. Thanks for calling in, Pat.
Thanks for calling.
Of course.
That's Pat, dude.
That's Pat.
Pat's 110 pounds soaking wet.
Wow.
He goes to GABF. He drinks everything on earth. And he calls in every once in a while. He's a great guy, Pat, man. If you wanted to call in like Pat, 562-653-0707, Smog City in the house. I want to thank you for bringing all these delicious treats. Does anybody rank this beer yet?
No, we
Let's-
haven't.
let's
We're
do that.
drinking the Saber-Tooth Squirrel. It's American style amber, coming in at 7%. This thing pours a nice clear amber color. Malt and that big hopped up aroma is coming through. It's like a
Delicious.
pine fruit. I could see some that suggestion of peach. Like that's a really
Dude.
interesting result from all these
that's crazy.
combinations. That fruit
I think
is
it's 'cause of
there.
the fuzz.
Yeah.
Peach fuzz?
Oh wow.
Oh,
We also make a beer. We make a beer called what's it called? Fluffy Fuzz Buzz.
Fluffy Fuzz Buzz.
So it's this beer blended with this same beer on coffee and also on cascara.
Terrible idea.
Yeah, it's terrible.
More coffee beer.
We only made it twice, but then we also call it the one with cascara or the coffee one. I don't know. They all have names too. So one of them's called like Squirrel Fuzz. The other one's called I I don't know. But anyway, it all,
I think you're making stuff up.
it becomes fluffy fuzz buzz. If you guys ever see it on
Fluffy
on top of the
fuzz buzz.
brewery, it means we worked really hard to make one keg.
Yeah.
You should try it when it comes out.
Oh yeah.
Ridiculous.
Fluffy fuzz
Not,
buzz.
not fleshy.
Not
Fluffy
fleshy.
That's the Halloween
fuzz
version.
buzz. Good for all the what are they called? The
I don't know what you're getting at, dude.
the furries or something. But the flavor is just that aroma is big and fresh. That's just like
No, it is.
envelops your head.
It is.
We should have a furry event.
Dude.
You know those,
huh?
right?
Yeah,
We
that's
have
what I
the
was-
coming togethers of all the people that are dressed as like teddy bears
Yeah.
and kitty cats.
Do you
Yes.
really know what that is?
Oh, that'd
though?
be
That's like
amazing.
it's like a fetish thing though. Like you don't want those people in your brewery.
Yes, I do.
I
I
think
want
she
everybody-
knows,
I want
dude.
everybody in my brewery.
Okay, well let's do a furry event. I'll show up. I'll be the first one
I
in.
don't discriminate.
You're getting really into Dino's wheelhouse of
Yeah,
hobbies.
right,
here
right,
now.
right. Wait, coffee beers and furry festivals?
Now you're speaking my language. The flavors, though, that's a
It's a
good
marriage right here. It's
good
perfect.
blend of like pine and caramel. Malt backbones for sure, but citrus. Like a citrus hoppy flavor
Okay.
mixed with a little of that sticky, icky, resiny
Oh,
pine.
wait.
Really good, really unique and interesting. I'm gonna give this a 3.7 beers on the
3.7
4 beer
beers.
scale.
A 7.0 on the ABV. So it's it's got a little punch to it.
Yeah.
For me, just being an IBA drinker, it's kind of in my wheelhouse. But for an average drinker, I think 7.0 is a little strong for the average drinker.
Right.
Of course, no heat on this. You're not getting any warmth off the 7.0. But we talked about it. This fresh batch is putting off crazy hop aroma and crazy hop great flavor too. The maltiness, all those caramel notes, bready notes, working together to like a complex but balanced beer. It's just another great beer. I love that coffee porter way too much. This is a 3.7, so it's got to be one. It's got to be
yeah.
one notch below
For sure.
because I love that coffee porter. This thing is really delicious to drink it anytime. Of course, you guys suggest drink it fresh, right? Just drink
Yeah,
this beer as
always.
fresh
Absolutely.
as
Make it
possible.
fresh.
Yeah, the hops are awesome. I mean, they'll fade out a little bit, but it doesn't really take away from the beer. This is really our most, maybe besides Saison, but our most food-friendly beer.
Okay, yeah,
So, like,
pairs well.
fantastic with barbecue.
Yeah.
It's sweet. I mean, it goes with lots of
Yeah.
stuff.
And it's
No.
so, like, for me, I'm not a big IPA drinker, which is maybe sacrilegious to say in Southern California. But for me, the bitterness of hops is really overwhelming. But for this one, like, the malt character balances out that bitterness. And this is my second favorite beer that we make after Coffee Porter. Coffee
Yeah.
Porter is, like, bar none, the king of our beers. I love that one so much.
Careful,
But
it
the,
gets
the squirrel is definitely my second favorite, even with that strong hop character.
Yeah.
You've got that amazing like malt body to balance out the hops, and so I find it really approachable. I find a lot of women are very sensitive to hops. They,
Yeah,
don't- they
I
think
think
it's
so.
very bitter,
I think so too. Yeah.
and I'll introduce them to squirrel, and they're oh my gosh, I actually can drink this. This is hoppy. I didn't know.
And even
So-
for the hop lover, yeah, it fulfills all those needs. It's got
Yeah.
the dry, it's got the aroma, it's got everything. It's really nice.
Yeah, this beer's really picked up for us. We called 2015 the year of the squirrel because we were like, we want
Yeah.
this beer to really take off, and it is absolutely like it's now pacing our IPA, which is unusual for any brewery. Breweries are usually like IPA heavy,
Right.
and it's now neck and neck, and we're trying to push it forward. We want it to be even bigger than the IPA.
What I always loved about LA, I talk about this all the time, especially when it was such a small community of brewers, is that everybody had their own individual style and
Yeah.
flavor, and it was obvious when
Yeah.
you walked into the brewery, when you tasted their beers. Each one of these places, from Eagle Rock, you guys, Monkish Brewery,
El
Beechwood,
Segundo,
El
all of
Segundo,
them.
everybody had their own flavor dialed in.
Yep.
Now we're kind of getting mixed up with all these places. Some of them don't even have identities yet. But we'll find out what LA beer is going to be in the next couple years, correct? Of course, growing so fast. Sour beers are just, especially I think in this area, just like Beechwood opening up that blendery. You got the brewery just
Carriage.
killing it, Phantom Carriage. And
Smog City.
Smog City, of course. That's what it's a perfect segue.
Sorry, I jumped your segue.
No, that's you did. Boom,
Get that
segue.
in there.
But and some of my already some amazing sours.
Thank you.
We're gonna get to a couple of them right
Yes.
right after our next break, but you guys have so many barrels. You guys got a big fooder now, right? What's going into that? How much does that take up of your brewery? Do you have just as much sours as your other beers, or is it kind of a smaller program when it comes down to it?
Yeah, it's smaller because we're trying to, we don't want to half-ass anything. So
Of course, yeah.
we've been filling barrels for
Fine-tuning.
2 years. We have yet to release a barrel-aged sour beer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
nice.
Cuttlebug doesn't see barrel time.
So how? We'll get to that when we drink that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
come
let's do
on, Dino, slow down.
But I think that's what makes LA
exciting.
so amazing. Actually, you go to San Diego, it's IPA heavy.
IPA, baby.
Everyone's IPA. Ah.
And you can't find a sour. There's some, but you're
There are a
like,
few.
but you're like, dude,
Berliner Weisses.
They're coming.
you're like, they're coming.
Yeah,
That's the
they're
thing.
coming.
They've been coming.
But Green Flash got that big Cellar 3. They've been
Yes,
working on that
yeah,
for a while.
you're
They
right.
finally released something.
But really, their identity is IPA.
It's
like
IPAs.
that's their thing.
It's
And I love that about LA. I love that we have Belgian. I love that we have
Mm-hmm.
coffee beers. I love that we have IPAs. I love that we have Ladyface that's doing, French-inspired Belgian
yeah.
beers.
Three
and
Weavers has
it's
their own
amazing.
feel. You
Three
know,
Weavers
like,
has their own thing, and I think that's what makes LA so dynamic
Mm-hmm.
and so enjoyable to watch come up because everybody has their own personality.
you guys have to know DFD Daniel fucking Drennan. and he's already willing to put up our best five versus any best five. Do you guys feel that strongly about LA that maybe we have a core here that can stand up to most beer towns?
I don't know yet.
Not yet.
I
Yeah,
would say
we're
so.
We're young, but you would say
I
so.
would say so.
I've been to a lot of beer towns. I think we have a pretty solid core that you can impress some people with, where it's just like across the board great beer, which is really kind of hard to find. It's coming harder because everybody and their mamas are just jumping into the game. They smell
Right.
money, and everybody's just jumping in.
Right.
Which they're fools if they smell money, honestly.
Yeah,
it
it's
is such a
They should smell
capital-intensive
sweat,
industry.
blood, and hard work, right?
It is so much harder than they think.
Yeah.
He says, I like it because I like to get my hands dirty and I don't want to be behind a computer. It's like being an owner of a brewery is being behind a computer and filling out forms
Right.
and ordering ingredients. It is so
It's long
hard.
days.
Yeah.
It's long days.
And reinvesting constantly.
That's-
every bit of money that goes back
That's
into our
definitely
business.
the common thing that we've had. Every brewer that's come on, brewery owner, everyone.
Tons
they
of
all
work,
They
tons
all
of
work
red
hard.
tape, tons
Yeah.
of
Tons of
Constant.
money.
So much money.
OSHA, federal government,
Right.
city
We
government,
talked
state
about
government.
the Pat talked a little bit about like label people suing each other over all these different infringements of
Yeah.
words and. Have you guys bumped into any of that? Has anybody hit you guys with a cease and desist or anything like that?
Not.
We had-
We've had some requests. Some
We had
kind
one.
Just
requests.
yeah,
saying,
yeah,
hey,
just-
I mean, well, we do the same thing.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
say, hey, dude.
Which is
so
way
we make
better.
this beer.
So how does it get to the news when the second brewery just says like no? Like
Yeah, well-
I always
or
wonder
when they
like
make a big stink.
yeah, it always trips me out. It's like how's it getting this far? They're like
Yeah.
going to the courts over it. Like come on, dude.
Well,
It's
there's
like,
some breweries that make cease and desist that I think are a little pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
And it puts a lot of strain on a brewery if you're packaging a beer to change, right?
yeah, definitely.
So I understand it, but for the most part, it's a very cordial, friendly environment and community in which a phone call is enough.
right.
You know, they all need is call or send an email.
All you need is one ex-lawyer on the investment or one of the owners of the brewery, and he's like, "Oh, I know how to fix this.
Yeah,
I'll
man,
just
like-
send my stock letter."
Yeah,
Yeah.
a letter.
We got a caller. This is actually our tour guide from Asheville, North Carolina. This is our good buddy, our official co-host of Beer 30 and tour guide of Asheville. Kyle,
How you doing, Beer 30?
how you doing, Kyle? Hey,
Kyle.
I just saw you like yesterday, a few hours
This
ago.
morning.
Technically today.
We were in Atlanta.
It all blurs together.
We were in Atlanta. But
How's it? You guys made it then?
we made it. We
Any
made
problems
it.
with
Cody, I don't
Wednesday?
think made it. I think Cody's still in Asheville.
I left my heart in Asheville, Kyle.
Good.
Good.
Soon to return then.
Right. Hey, tell us what you're sipping on, Kyle. You got to be sipping on something.
I'm a company man. I've got a torpedo in my hand.
Yeah, of course. you took a few days off for us to show us around town. I want to thank you for that.
That's actually the first beer today. I went walking around and toured my new town I live in, Hendersonville, North Carolina.
Yeah, Hendersonville.
Kind of like Mayberry.
That's awesome.
And now I'm drinking the first beer sitting by the river.
All right. Well, we have Smog City in house today. They're a local brewery. I'm sure you've had something from them. You're an old transplant, but you have any questions for us, or are you just calling in to say what's up?
Can you send me some Smog City?
Yes, we can send you some Smog
Nice.
City. We can send you
What?
whatever you want.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Does he work for?
Yeah, he
Smog
saw you guys
Associated
come
Body?
out for beer camp. Of course,
yeah.
he didn't know you. He called me up and he's like, "Did you know Beechwood? And this is out here doing beer camp."
That was such an adventure going there.
This
It
is
was
your guys' first go on the beer camp. You guys went out there and kind of did a super group style brew. Tell me a little bit about that.
So the whole supergroup story is that basically they built these rock bands, right? So they have a head leader, and the leader for us is Beechwood, and they got to choose their bandmates.
Oh man!
And
they
what
made
was
Julian the lead singer.
Julian? That's
Right?
right.
So it's all '90s music.
Beechwood.
Is that what happened?
There's gonna be a lot of like dick
So-
and,
So
bad
what was
jokes.
really fun? What's really fun is that Sierra Nevada flew there were 30 breweries across the nation. They flew to Asheville, but we weren't allowed to know what
Was
breweries
in
were
it?
participating in
Oh,
the
so
other.
it was like,
Yeah.
Wow.
So we were all put up in the same hotel. And we
Bagby.
show up. We knew our
We
super
knew
group.
our group.
We
I
knew
see,
our
I see,
super.
I
We
see,
didn't
I
know
see.
anybody else. We didn't know 24 of the other people.
Okay.
And we show up in the hotel, and there's just like, oh, hey, what? You? What? Wait, Garrett Marrero of Maui Brewing?
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
what? And we're like, it was so cool.
That's chill.
And
That's awesome.
Sierra Nevada treated us really well. They took us on these big tours.
How's that
and-
facility? I gave my little opinion.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of torn. I don't know if I love the huge Disneyland style brewery. Did you?
Have you been to Chico? Is it like Chico?
It's better than Chico. It's like everything they wanted in Chico in one place. Because in Chico was built, right? Here they built it at one time, so he got everything
So
he
for,
wanted.
it's
They
like,
have
a,
like
it's like
a-
a mile-long driveway to get in. First, you go through these golden gates
Yeah.
full of hops and fucking things, and you go in and there's just like everything's made out of like kegs and hop leaves, and it's just like you go down this long driveway. You get to this massive brewery, beautiful.
Massive.
You can tell it's fresh and new.
Yeah.
Everything's fresh. And then there's a huge bottling line you can see from outside, huge keg and everything.
They have gardens, an amphitheater.
They have
Yeah.
a concert arena in the back.
Wow.
You know, a large fire pit, 4 or 5 bars, pizza, everything you can ever
good
want
food. We got a lot of food
in
there.
a brewery.
Damn.
It's just it's just one of those things. We talked about going to the warehouse. The feel you get, small place, small
Yeah.
people, and it was just like, man, do I love this? Like, like
I feel like
So
there's.
but then you put a beer in your hand. You're like,
It's so good.
I do love this.
I feel like there's
it's
room
torpedo all
for
day long.
Everything.
there's room for Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
There's room for people like Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
We can't all be Sierra Nevada.
of course,
Right.
If we're all Sierra
Good
Nevada, then
point.
it's boring, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Sierra, they're so amazing, and they were my introduction to craft beer.
Right.
And I'm
Most
very
people.
proud and thankful that they have continued to be these amazing supporters of the craft beer movement, whether big or small.
People who do it right.
They're
There's the
awesome
bigger
people.
companies who do it right. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And they
Yeah.
happen to be one of those. Kyle, I know. Hey, he hates them. You know, he just works for them and everything.
I'm happy to be involved.
I'm happy to be involved.
Hey, Kyle, did you swim in any waterfalls or anything today?
This guy's jumping in
No,
freezing
no.
cold waterfalls and
Kept
shit
it,
while
kept
we're out
it
there.
pretty cool today.
Nothing good. Yeah, it was time to rest on the hammock
It
and
was,
chill
a,
out.
it was a big recuperation day.
Well, we're gonna be there in 3 weeks, so
Going back
I
out?
hope it's not too cold.
Going back out?
Yeah, we're not going out for
I'll-
Sierra
I'll see
Nevada.
you
We're
at the
going out
tap
for
room.
some personal.
You're going to take
personal
him to Asheville?
vacation.
You're going to take him to Asheville?
Well, yeah. of
Well,
course.
yeah.
We're gonna go down
I've
for a
been, but it's
day,
been
day or
5
two.
years.
Give Burial another try. Oh, you already
Oh, I
have.
like
but
Burial.
but
They're great.
we went so many breweries out there. Kyle, thank you for taking us all those places. Of course, Funkatorium was
Yeah.
awesome. But Burial, they had a Surf Wax IPA that was far above average. It was a great, and then an espresso stout that was just like candy. It was I could drink that thing all day. So you get out to Asheville, of course, it's like voted beer town fucking every
USA,
year out there. But
yeah, them in Portland are like.
yeah, he's battling out. It's ding ding ding. But it's a great town. Go visit it. So many great beers.
Yeah, I love it out there.
Kyle,
I'll see you then.
are you better off than my co-host over
Are
here?
you eating a hamburger right now, or what is that noise?
I'll be there. I'm not
That's
going
him
anywhere.
drinking beer.
Tour guide for hire.
Kyle, we'll see you soon, and we're gonna send you a bunch of Smog City. And I know I've promised you a lot of beers and haven't come through before, but this one will happen. I
Add
swear.
it to the list.
Hey, at least you got your shirts now. You got a Beer 30 shirt, different color for every day of the week. I
Yeah,
think.
you do.
I can wear those things all week.
I lost my Grateful Dead Green Man sticker. I need one. Okay.
Oh, damn it. I'll find some.
I'll talk to you later, Kyle.
Take care,
Later.
man.
That's Kyle. Old Long Beach, Seal Beach transplant down there, and he really does love that town. I think more than people who were born there. He loves that town, and he gave us showed us a great time when we were out there. It
There's
was
nothing
so
not
much
to
fun.
love about Western North Carolina.
Right,
That is
right,
heaven.
yeah.
I don't think I've seen so many colors of leaves.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
I hope they haven't fallen.
It's like singing it.
It's people from Southern California just don't know, huh?
That's
Well,
all.
you just don't see shit, and then you go out there. I didn't think I was gonna be that like blown away by it, but it was beautiful, man. You're like, fuck, this is awesome. This is great.
Yeah.
And I understand why people basically travel just to see leaves change because it's crazy.
Rivers and lakes. We went like on a half-mile hike, and we were at a big-ass waterfall. It was
Too many empty glasses going on. I think we're gonna take a short break and come back with no bruises.
oh, got no goddamn bruise.
This guy never has bruises. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back.
I'm hungover.
And that's the news.
news
That's the
is-
beer news of the week.
I got a
Breaking
long
news.
list of beer that has passed through my liver in the last 3 days.
DFZ Radio will be right back. 562-653-0777. Can you guys know what I just said? I don't know what I
Yeah,
just
it's all
said. Smog City in the house. We'll be back with a couple beers.
If you want to roll, then we take a stroll. You can just follow me. Yeah, look, you like the way I walk and how would G talk. Sagging when we bellin', Mr. Sing-a-low. Baby, you and me strolling on my block. Sitting in the lag, drinking on some Hennessy. PYT, yeah, you pretty young thing. You looking right in them jeans, sexy brown skin. Now sit back and relax and let's ride out with the top down. LBC
Baby,
style.
just you and me, cruising around town sipping Hennessy. If you wanna roll, then we take a stroll. You can just follow me. Baby, just you and me, cruising around town sipping Hennessy. If you wanna roll, then we take a stroll. You can just follow me. Yeah. A shorty good, she lookin' right. She packin' spot, I look twice. Thick thighs are real nice. Come to the crib, girl, and you can spend the night. Relax and feel your cup. Feel your cup. Twist this and take a puff. Tell your girl that it's on tonight and tell her she can come through too for a little bump and grind. I hit it once, hit it twice. Got this little chick that'll let me just ride. Baby, just you and me, cruising around town sipping Hennessy. If you wanna roll, then we take a stroll. You can just follow me. Baby, just you and me, cruising around town sipping Hennessy. If you wanna roll, then we take a stroll. You can just follow me. Yeah.
Yeah, baby, come stroll with a player. With a G, I'm about to show you what I'm made of. Hennessy, let's see where it take us. Sour tea in my blood, and we laughing at the haters. As we switch the lane up, never switch the game up. Rep the A before I came up, and never will I change up. So baby, let's ride. We can have the best time. Show you how the best ride and represent the West.
Baby, just you and me, cruising around town sipping Hennessy. If you wanna roll, then we take a stroll. You can just follow me. Baby, just you and me, cruising around town sipping Hennessy. if you wanna roll, then we take a stroll. You can just follow me. Yeah.
Tonight's beer selection is brought to you by Stearns Liquor at 4360 East Stern Street, Long Beach, California, 90815, with a huge walk-in fridge and the best craft beer selection in town. Also available in their new location in Bixby Knolls at 4100 Atlantic Avenue, Long Beach, California, 90807. Make sure you check out Stearns Liquor to get your craft. All right, whenever you're ready.
What's happening? It's the Coderia. You're listening to the Beer 30 Show on DFZRadio.com.
DFZRadio.com.
Riding down the west coast, candy paint dripping cause I just got a fresh coat. California raised me, an LA baby, the Chevrolet raisin, scraping on Dayton's, riding down Rosecrans, get with the program, call me the drone man, the hydros potens, got your eyes low, lower than the ocean, just west coasting through the coast, with the potion, and the best dro to smoke. The baddest bitches, girls in bikinis with ass and titties. The hustle game easy, you just can't believe till you see me on TV. Drive down the wrong street, might see the tech smoke. Hop in the ride and let's go to the west coast. This life is like a movie. You meet a model bitch, then you fuck her like a groupie. Raised. Second son to Easy E, so don't be amazed. Same nigga, same flow, same mind frame. I'm all about the loot cheap. Fuck minimum wage, cruising through these Cali streets, smoking on this OG. Cash rules everything around me, I need more cream. West Coast, get it in. What the fuck you think? Saying I'm riding with you, really though, there's money in the bank. E3 hotter than the California forecast. Burning up these tracks, nigga, I need more cash. Yeah, I'm a bona fide hustler. Fuck with my family of cash and I'ma cut ya. Real G's get it, that's only the obvious. Go against us, you know you facing the consequence. I love my state, but I really hate the politics. Better keep stepping, buddy boy, in a pile of shit. Yeah, in a pile of shit. E3, get it in, nigga, I'm live as shit. 3, 2, 1. In the county of LA, just me and Mary J. As the world keeps spinning, like gold 100 spokes, engine running, Chevy gunning down the coast. Just let it roll. Who doesn't love to see a 6-4 hop down the block?
Everybody's getting jacketed up. Did I miss the jacket memo?
It's cold.
Jacket memo. I got a jacket. I got a jacket. Right, South. Yeah.
Autumn
Southern California.
Autumn may begin like by midwinter. I think we might get a little feel for.
Bro, it's El Nino.
Maybe a
We're gonna
little
get
bit.
mad rain.
Oh,
this year.
yeah.
DFZRadio.com. Beer 30. We are back. 562-653-0707 is the number you want to dial if you want to talk to Cody, who's so talkative tonight,
Hello, I am Cody.
and Dina. Who's just Dina.
You suck.
Thank you. And we have Smog City in the house today.
Oh yeah.
Smog City.
The indefatigable porter. that I mentioned.
Yeah, that word that I
Right.
can't say, Porter.
Google it.
Google it.
I had to.
You're like, I even. We're moving on to the next, aren't we? We're going to go to the Kumquat Saison.
Yeah.
Tell me something about this Kumquat Saison.
This beer is a labor of love.
Passion project.
It's from the Taproom Collection. What's the Taproom Collection?
You want the truth about the taproom collection?
I want the lies.
It is taproom release only. So that means you can only get it in our taproom.
Okay.
But we distribute Kumquat.
But it actually means that we don't have. We're too busy making labels for other things. So this is for the taproom.
Nice. Oh, you want
It
some
really
beer?
means
You want beer?
it really means it's small batch.
Yeah,
right?
really,
Small
really
batch?
just small batch.
Yeah.
Honestly, like when we made the first batch of this, I was gonna change my title to Chief Kumquat Washer
Yeah.
because I washed pretty much every one of them by
So do
hand.
you use the same strategy of just too much kumquats on this one? Is that the strategy?
Kind of. I mean, we use like a loose ratio for
Measurement,
citrus.
like three truckfuls.
Okay, when we were done with it, yeah.
Kumquat has an interesting history because as we've been making it for 3 years now, and the first 2 years we made it, we literally made it off of the kumquats that came out of our tree in our backyard.
Oh, okay.
We made
wow.
55 gallons, and that was it.
I thought you were going to tell us like the history of kumquats.
No. Do you know what a kumquat is?
I want to know who named the kumquats.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have not done that research.
Tell
I'm
me what a
sorry.
kumquat is.
Kumquat is a very small citrus. It's about the size of a large olive, like a large black olive.
Oblong shape.
Oblong shaped, yes, thank you. And what's interesting about it is that it's a fruit it's a citrus that you actually eat the seed or the shell and the pulp at the same
So
time.
you're supposed to eat the
The
peel?
whole thing. The peel is the sweet part,
Peel is sweet,
and the inside is the tart part.
and
Yikes.
the flesh
Yeah.
is not segmented like normal citrus. So when you cut it open, there
Yeah,
isn't like little slices.
Not sliced,
Yeah.
not like an orange slice. It
Right.
doesn't have it. That's
and
interesting.
you eat the whole thing.
you
They're
know,
definitely an acquired taste. I love them. I
Yeah.
grew up on them,
Yeah.
but they're very intense.
I can definitely tell you I've never had
crazy.
just like popped a kumquat
Yeah.
in and just ate it with everything.
With
But the
li-
first
peel.
batch was brewed with your guys' homegrown kumquats. That's about as local as it gets.
Locally
Yeah.
sourced.
Hand-
Locally
we
sourced.
we plucked it.
We did that a
We
couple of
cleaned it.
times, and we were like, "Man, how can we get more of these?"
Yeah.
So we tried a commercial provider, and the kumquats were terrible.
Failed.
They were like
terrible.
not that juicy, not that tart. They were just kind of gross.
It sucks.
They were all
They're-
GMO'd up.
Probably.
Yeah.
They were in G mode.
G-Mode.
They were
Ooh, that's so nice. That's so nice.
And so I don't remember
So
how we found.
we're good friends with Laura Avery of the Santa Monica Farmers Market.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
And she invited us her daughter actually invited us to her wedding, her daughter's wedding. And while we were there, we met this girl. We re-met this girl that we've known for a long time, Rachel Meiselas. And I was talking to her about what she does because she was discussing gleaning. And gleaning is where you go out into farmers' fields or into urban backyards and you collect harvests that would be wasted.
The dropped off stuff.
Things it doesn't even have to have been dropped, but it would be
No,
things that would normally go to waste, right?
Pick the trees.
Yeah, you don't. It wouldn't be rotten. It's not bad stuff, but
Yeah.
it's like on the edge or things that there's just overproducing.
Yeah.
Right.
And she works for a company that's located. It's local. It's located up in Studio City called Food Forward. They're a nonprofit gleaning service that harvests from backyards, farmers markets, the wholesale market, farms, and then donates to food banks, and the food banks feed the needy. So I was talking to her about it. She was actually talking to McGrath Farms about gleaning tomatoes, and I'm like, "This is amazing! You get free tomatoes from the guy I pay $1 million for tomatoes from. This is incredible!" And then I always like I'm a person that believes in just throwing things out to you, and if you say no, then you say no. But
Yeah.
I said to her, "Do you ever have kumquats?" And she looks at me and she's like, kumquats? We have so many kumquats and we don't know what to do with them.
How many of those things can you eat?
Yeah,
like,
right.
I made marmalade once. I think I made 6 jars. I
We
think
still have it.
3, and that was like
Yeah.
4 years ago.
I think I eat about 10 a year, 10 kumquats
Yeah,
a year.
yeah.
That's it. So she got us in touch with the executive director.
Kumquats for days.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we partnered up with them, and so now we do a local gleaning where we go out and we collect the kumquats off of backyard trees all around
Los
LA.
Angeles.
All over. We actually had one in Downey up the street from you guys. We got 250 pounds off of one tree.
Wow.
It was built
Holy
it was
mackerel.
planted in 1954.
Next time you go gleaning, take me out. I'll help you pick some fruits.
I'll give you a call. and so now
cool.
we give a percentage of our proceeds back to them. So for every bottle you buy, whether in the tap room or in a retail store, goes back to supporting Food Forward and helping them grow their business.
And that's why you have this cool little label that comes
That's
along
right.
with it. Food Forward. Might as well just go check them out, right? Food Forward. If you're out there listening, check them out.
If you have a citrus tree and you don't want to eat all those grapefruits or all those oranges, call them up and you can donate your fruit to them and they get a tax deduction for it.
They'll come
So
pick it
it's
for
pretty
you.
awesome.
It's great.
They come pick it. They clean up your yard. They're amazing. You don't even have to be there. You just have to give
Cody,
them
you got
okay
fruit-
to go
you
in the
got fruit
back.
in
I
your
got
backyard. You got
tomatoes.
shit
Like
for
my
days.
local raccoon and squirrel population is eating buffet organic peppers and tomatoes
Yeah.
like, all day long.
You got a tolerance
They
for
are
spicy
incredible.
things over there, your raccoons. So kumquat saison,
Yep.
a really nice saison. It's got a really a refreshing taste compared to like a traditional saison. To me, it has it drinks like a refreshing beer. It has, of course, that kumquat, delicious flavor, light kind of orange, citrusy flavor. Not much like pepper, what you think of saison. It's just more of that kind of fruity saison. Something that you wanted to accomplish. Was that on purpose or?
Yeah, I mean, so the kumquats kind of vary in their character. So, but because we get so many and we put so much in the beer, that it ends up being sort of a straight line. I was actually surprised. This is the second batch, and I was actually surprised that it turned out so similar. Yeah, I mean, I get a little bit of yeast character in the finish. There's a little bit of white pepper from the yeast.
I was going to ask you what type of yeast you used as the Blue Labs.
It's a blend. It's like sort of a custom blend, only because I find pure strains kind of boring, and I want to coax more out of a strain.
Okay.
I blend it.
Yeah, it worked out well for me. This thing drinks. It's so delicious. A 6.0 ABV. This is bottle 1,316. How many bottles total were there?
1,318.
Yeah, something like that.
We got the last 2 bottles, baby. Woo!
We had our first batch hit I think it hit just over 2,000, and then this is our second batch. The second batch later in the summer, there's a lower yield in kumquats. Kumquats are really a winter fruit that ripens in the spring. So our first batch was really big. I think we put in 700 pounds. Is that right? 650.
First batch was 800 pounds. For
800.
25 barrels of beer.
800 pounds.
Wow.
And those, we literally had to buy chest freezers and freezers all over our brewery. They're just piled in it all over the place.
We talked about no barrel aged beers released yet, right? You've been putting things in barrels for a couple years.
Barrel-aged sours.
Barrel aged sours. Sorry.
Yeah.
Is something like this is something you may play around with in a barrel?
Yeah.
Is it we're going to see that maybe in the future?
Well, we need to see how much more fruit we can get because we really love this beer.
Yeah.
And a lot of people love this beer. I want to make sure that we can make this beer, but I think kumquats are very interesting in terms of sour beer.
Right.
Really bring that tartness to it, right? It's got a bunch of tartness, that orange peel, orange flavors, really kind of hit you really hard up front, and then it kind of goes into this like smooth, drinkable, buttery saison, like it kind of, it's really nice, isn't it? Like, you're like, I fucking love my beer. Whiny, it is the end. It tastes like white wine a little bit.
Kind of whiny, yeah.
People like to say it's like a gateway sour because it's got that tartness and that like kick, but it's not that vinegary. It's not the intensity of sour beers that you have to sort of learn to love.
Tart.
And so
tart.
we have a lot of people that love this, and they're like, "This is the beginning of sour beers for me."
So, brewer, can you explain it to me? What a difference between like a Berliner Weiss and a Saison? Is that going to be the yeast strain? Is that because Berliner Weiss is, if you're out there, you don't know, it's like a tart. Is it wild yeast or
tart wheat beer? They call it.
It's a wheat beer. So is that going to be the difference? The wheat additions? Or?
No. So Berliner Weiss has lactobacillus in it.
Okay, yeah. So it's got the wild yeast
which
in it.
creates lactic acid from sugar. Saisons usually don't have the acidity. The ones that can have bacteria in them.
Mm-hmm.
Saisons are very widely interpreted.
Right. Farmhouse, whatever.
Yeah. So even in Belgium, they're all over the map.
Yeah.
But Berliner Weisses always have lactobacillus.
Always have that.
Well,
okay.
they should. Anyway.
So this one gets all its tartness from this kumquats.
From the fruit. Yeah. No lactobacillus. Well, yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Well, there's always a chance that there are things on the fruit that grow because they come from like people's
Oh,
backyards.
yeah, no, of
They're,
course.
like dirty and like
Yeah,
But we clean them like crazy.
Well, we do, but we don't
like a triple
There's
wash.
still a
but we
chance.
don't like pasteurize them.
There's
or
still a
anything.
chance,
There's
right?
a chance.
It has come up negative on our micro.
Okay.
And the fact that our two batches have turned out exactly the same makes me feel like they're pretty clean.
There's always a chance, but
There's always a chance.
but no, this was all from the fruit, which is great.
Yeah, right. Cody, what do you think about this one?
It's a great beer. We've had it before, and I really liked it back then. Pours a clear, pale straw color. There's that clean citrus mixed with a little tiny pepper spice in the aroma. Really light on the tongue when you take a sip. You can get a little bit of that Belgian yeast character.
But it dances on there,
But
baby.
it
That thing's
dances more with
dancing.
like that like
thing's dancing.
citrusy orange peel flavor, like kumquat flavor. But if you're not snacking on kumquats during your lunch hour, you might identify more with like a sweeter orange peel. Yeah, where you get a blend of sweetness but a little tartness. Also,
woody, buttery, like wine flavor. That's what I'm getting.
I was gonna wear the GABF medal that we won this year. But I don't do that
just
much
like what's that?
Definitely.
We did forget to mention that. Was it what medal did you bring home this year?
GABF silver.
The silver, baby.
Fruit style Belgian beer.
Belgian fruit beer.
You know, it's funny. I was at the award ceremony, and I must have been just too drunk to recognize that you guys were. I don't know how I missed that.
Very early.
But I showed up. I did show up about 20 minutes late.
Yeah.
I did show up a little late.
We were really early in the group.
That's good. It's great. You know, we love the locals. We love the local breweries, especially.
Oh yeah.
I love that local breweries get recognition because I'm just that homer dude going, you don't even know, bro. Like, you know, like.
Where I come from, we got kumquat says all this shit.
but it's like I'm like, and I don't know if it's just me being a homer or is this really good beer? So I love when the awards come, the other accolades come because I'm like, that's right, I told you.
That goes back to the craft beer movement. Being so proud of your local community and the beer that's immediately around you. That's what keeps all of us going forward as owners.
And I think that's what we were towards touching on earlier about the conglomerate, blah, blah, is what there's very few industries left in the world
that feel this way.
That is a locally owned, locally produced commodity that you can enjoy, and you know, not just your money's going back into the community, but you know it's high quality. You know the people who are producing it, and so there's so many virtues to the craft beer industry other than just good beer.
Right.
That sense of community, fraternity, brotherhood, and sisterhood, and all that goodness.
And
But it's also
it's a big industry, but everybody knows each other in this industry. It's big on paper, but it's really a bunch of it's a few people just really kind of working together.
Yeah.
And we've always talked about how when the industry was smaller, of course it was in your best interest to work together. And I think there's a bunch of these people coming in that don't care about working together. They're on their own mission. And that's a little worrisome as, you know, is it going to be the craft beer that we came to love? Is the industry going to be the industry that we came to love? Because you guys got into it because you loved industry. Same thing with the crazy craft beer drinkers. Same thing. You know, they love the small town. They love that feel.
Well, unfortunately, when money gets involved and booms get involved,
Right.
it muddies the waters.
But I think,
I think.
that as long as good people like yourselves are working hard, doing the thing, and being supported by the beer drinkers, there's going to be that market for it. And it's almost radical in a sense to me. It's like big. So talked about the big conglomerates, like they're actively strategizing to like defeat this. Like they want to defeat it. They want to like push it back down. They want to like buy one in this region and then kill the competitors. Buy one in this region, kill the competitors. And like most,
it's a good thing that they buy the pretenders instead of the real deal things. It ends up working out in our benefit. Is that they end up thinking like, oh, we're grabbing the great local spot when we're always the sellouts of the area.
I don't want to cause trouble, but Shock Top, they thought that was a great character for craft beer.
Yeah.
And he's the worst. I mean, he's such a fraud. That like orange peel thing.
Yeah.
It's perfect because it's like this is what they think craft beer is.
Exactly. That's
great.
That's
the
thing
know.
is that they still have yet to grasp what craft beer is.
Yeah, they don't
and
get
they
it.
think they're grabbing up these like things, but it's like, nah, not really.
I feel like they're just diversifying.
Yeah, that's it.
And they're just buying volume.
As simple as that.
And then they're applying their formulas, which I mean, because they can afford it, they're gonna do well because they'll take those brands, and for people who don't know, they're sort of playing on that. But it's diversification because if they're losing market share and we're gaining, they're like, oh well, we'll just buy a bunch of that and then we'll
exactly.
Right.
But
I
I guarantee they don't even try the beer. They just look at numbers. They look at each brewery in the area. They go, whose numbers are what. That's how they decide to buy that brewery. I guarantee they never even try the beer to see, whatever.
And if you talk
the
about
beer doesn't matter. They'll make the beer.
It doesn't matter.
And if you talk about shelf space and taps at like craft beer bars, they're definitely actively trying to take over all of that.
For sure.
And it's just interesting to me because you just look at a lot of different industries and things die out and kind of get homogenized, and that's one thing that really draws me to craft beer in general. To me, they're like garnering all these resources to kind of go after this thing that most people who are working in it are just working in it. You're just doing your best every day to make like the best quality product. Yeah. And in your little niche, you're still winning, and you're still winning because that quality product, because there's a community for it, all these other things. To me, it's just like such a positive story.
Well, I feel like over the next couple of years, we're going to see the people that are really too big to fail surviving, like the regional breweries that have established themselves already, and the really small breweries, and the ones that are going to struggle are the middle-sized ones, the ones that are in the 10 to 15 to 20,000 barrels, because in this, I know, I don't, we're not there, but that's why we're slowing down our growth. But
there's other companies, Green Flash really making a hard push right now. Stone's always making a hard push. They never stop pushing, but some of these bigger guys. Asheville's a prime example of this. Is all these big time breweries are opening up in Asheville as their secondary, distribution, whatever it is, and it's
East Coast.
Dude,
East
it's
Coast,
crazy, and it's like I feel like you had something to say.
It's because they've identified those markets. So the Southeast has been starved of craft beer for a long time. I mean, they have. There was like what was the last states to like legalize home brewing or whatever craft brewing. It's still very difficult down there, but there's a huge market there, and that's what they're recognized. There's a lot of room for more craft beer.
Of course,
the big guys or the people who want to be big are making a big play for it.
Some of
them are going to do really well. Some of them maybe not, but there's room. Like make no qualm. I mean, there's room.
You guys know, just like the people who listen to the show, they're craft beer eccentric. They're crazy.
Right.
They're not going to like these bigger places. They're not going to give their money to these. I don't see that changing. I don't see that the real deal craft beer fiends, nerds who wait in 3-hour lines, who do whatever it takes to make a trade or whatever. They're not going to go away from these smaller type, small batches. What they want, small, crazy, inventive batch from people who think of beer as art, like you do. You know what I mean?
Those people are too picky to buy your beer all the time, every time.
Yeah,
and
they're not. Yeah, they're not loyalists.
That's not what a really big company needs as a, as a
Consumer,
fan or
yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
A really big
Yeah.
company needs somebody who's like, this is my beer. And, this is
and
what
I drink 30
I drink,
of them every day.
I drink
Yeah.
habanero
Yeah,
hoppy beer.
We got it. We got it. we got it. We got it.
You know,
that's-
it's like
I think craft beer. One of my favorite things about craft beer, and I feel like we're kind of this way, is it's built on rebels and anarchists and people who don't want to be told how to what to drink, how to drink it,
Yeah.
how to run a company. I mean, we wanted to do this because we wanted to do it our way. We don't want to do it your way. We don't want somebody telling us how to do it. We want to do it our way. And I feel like that's such a great sort of niche of the craft beer industry, but I also think it's very small. I think that is a tiny group, but that is the group that will keep our brewery going.
Right.
You know?
This is what I love about your brewery, and so far tonight, what's happened here is it's so rare, especially with the expansions, to go into a brewery and like their whole lineup. You might go, oh, this is their standout. This is okay. I can go, but to go walk into a brewery these days and like their entire lineup is really rare. It's like listening to a CD, you know, the band that
and
has
you're
a
like,
great.
the whole album's great.
Yeah,
It
the
never
whole
happened.
yeah,
It's always track 1 and track 7. Have you ever noticed that?
Track
It's
7.
always
You
track
got to
1
bring
and
them
track
back
7.
in. You know, you got to bring them back in. No,
We
but
should name a
but
beer track 7.
for me
There you
personally, you know, I do, and I've been very impressed for a long time. Across the board, we've had stouts, we've had saisons, we've had amber, and they've all been crazy good.
Different styles, all good. Speaking of delicious beers, can I get a little bit more of this?
No,
Kumquat Saison.
Let's get this guy out of the depths. I think we're pulling this guy out. We got him.
I'm coming back.
Hair of the dog, baby.
Well,
He's
so whenever
waking
I go
up.
to a brewery and I taste all of their lineups, they're all solid. And the styles are all over the board. You know that whoever is behind that is a talented brewer.
Is a talented
Yes.
brewer.
And that doesn't come easy. And
Wow.
so I like to think that every beer on our board is solid all the time. And if it's not, then I'm not going to pour it. With the exception of some of our pilot batches. Those are there to be critiqued and
you play
to
around
be
with. It's a pilot
excited
batch.
and
It's a pilot batch.
Exactly.
We like to hear back, but we never put anything bad or flawed on, right? Like if it's not good,
It might
we're
not
not gonna
Crazy
put it
off flavors or something. You're not
Yeah.
gonna put it out.
Yeah.
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 Like yeah.
we don't.
But like that's because I've been to breweries, or before I had a brewery, I was like, you know what, that's what I want. I want somebody to be like, you know, I don't really drink Pilsner, but like, damn, dude, that's
Yeah.
a really good Pilsner. Like,
Yeah.
if you know, you know. And the brewers, when the brewers come from all over the place, like that's the first beer they want to try. They want
Yeah.
to try our pills,
Yeah.
and they're always like, "Whoa, cool pills."
That's
And
yummy.
like a brewer came to texted me the other day, and he's like, "Hey, I'm coming to your place. What should I try?" And I was like, well, the triple IPA is fresh, and you should definitely try the smoked lager."
Yeah.
Like smoked
Smoked
lager.
lager,
Like, why
yeah,
would you
yeah,
recommend
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Because it's a killer smoked lager. And if you've ever had good smoked lager, you should try this one because it's pretty damn good.
There you go.
There it is. We got Smog City in studio. We're drinking their Kumquat Saison.
So good.
Coming in at 6%, part of their tap room collection. I had another question. When you talked earlier about like people's like your demand on your beer, and you kind of feel what people are liking and what you might produce more of. Is that like a pure bottling thing? Is that in the tap room? Is that people you know? Like,
People
how
are
do you
in your guys'
gauge?
ears all the time,
How do you
probably.
gauge the feedback to decide like if you're going to brew more or less of a particular style?
How it sells.
Is it all based off bottle sales? Is what I'm saying, or is there
Yeah,
more?
when we
to
first
it?
started, we were draft only for a long time. We still don't bottle a ton of beer. We should be bottling more, but we don't.
in 2016.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah, next year.
Always got
Still.
you always got a little fridge right next to the tap, full of goodies
Yeah.
that you can
Yeah,
take
yeah,
home with
for
you.
sure.
Exactly.
I think it was more out of we were learning how to be a production brewery with a distributor. How do you? I mean, if you really believe in a brand, you can get them to sell it. You can figure out something, right? Or sometimes it's just not right for the market. I don't know. Like we had a beer called XPA. You know, what's an XPA? Well, it's not an IPA. It's what I thought was lower in alcohol, lighter in body than a pale ale, but just as hoppy.
What they now call a session IPA.
But now they
Or-
call them session IPAs. And it was just as freaking hoppy, but that's not what it was called.
Yeah.
So we changed the name, but we changed it to a makeout session pale ale. We didn't call it session IPA.
Yeah.
So
Would
we
have been a winner.
so we learned we learned that lesson, and we did that before there were a million of them, and
Yeah.
And so that beer just didn't sell.
And we, during this show, the session IPAs, we've done the show for a couple of years. The session IPAs storm came,
Yeah.
and then there was this huge talk. This is just a pale ale, right? Like and it's still
A hoppy
today.
pale ale.
It's a hoppy pale ale.
That's awesome.
IPAs, of course, were so popular.
Yeah.
Companies wanted to throw IPA on any fucking label.
Yep.
So that's how
They
a
still
session
do.
IPA was
And-
born.
And the word session is pretty cool, Like,
Yeah.
have
And
a
people want to
session,
drink a lot of
man.
beer, and that's one of the things for people who don't drink a lot of craft beer. They're like, man, I only have like 2 of those things and I'm done. So here's a session beer. You can drink a ton of these, by
Right.
name.
But unfortunately, the session IPA or session pale ale, whatever you want to call it, costs as much to make as an
As-
IPA,
yeah.
but you have to charge less because
Okay.
it's lower ABV. And so we were charging, we were losing money on it basically. And and then when it goes out
The
to the
lost
market,
leader.
people don't want to pay $6 for a 5%. They want to pay $6 for a 7%.
Right.
So you're like, you might as well just
Value
make
in
another
ABV.
IPA, dude.
Yeah,
Stop
you
making
just
that
might as
crap.
well make an IPA.
Right. So it's like a learning curve.
Hey, and that's still going on. The session IPA is not dying out. I think that's a very popular category you're going to see around for a while, just because people want, like you're seeing the Pilsner thing right now. Every craft brewery
Don't
is making
say
a,
that.
is
Don't
making
say
a
that.
Pilsner.
Don't say that.
Why can't I say
They're all
that?
making pilsners, but we've been making them longer and we've been making them better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In your face, Dino.
Throwing it.
Snap.
And of course, here on the West Coast, we just love them. Just hop them up, bro,
Yeah,
and
bro.
I'll drink that shit.
How about a session
Is your
Pilsner? IPA Pilsner?
Yeah,
session
just
IPA
put
Pilsner?
IPA on anything; it'll sell better. It'll sell better.
That's our next beer. Session IPA Pilsner.
But is your Pilsner hopped up? Is it a hoppy Pils?
It's not dry hopped, but for a pilsner, I don't know. I would not.
I
Call
wouldn't-
I would
a
not call
hoppy
it
pils.
hoppy, but
No.
it has a
Hop characteristic.
firm hop character.
We've been told that if you put it up next to other brands that are Pilsners, it's a little hoppy for people that are coming in. But
Oh yeah, that wuss ass brand that they're constantly comparing us to.
yeah.
But next to like
I like these like under the you know who you are, motherfucker.
But next to not to name names,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I like it.
next to like Pivo, which has hoppy pills,
Yeah.
we're not that hoppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we should get around to rating this
Might as
Kumquat
well.
Saison,
Might as well.
a silver medal winner
Wow.
in the Belgian fruit beer category
Mm-hmm.
at the 2015 GABF. We've talked about it. We've described it. There's that
Presidential seal
clean
on it.
citrus
Presidential seal on this thing.
flavor and aroma. I'm gonna give it 3.85 birds. I like
3.85?
3.85.
Over the coffee, man.
Yeah, he just went up.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
I'm
chop
a
the
fan of
coffee.
all these beers, and I'm a real
I'm a
big fan
all
of
these beers.
Saison, and this is a nice twist
that
to it,
beer.
really light and easy. I almost, at 6%, that's not a high ABV, but it's still like so easy and nice and just
It's
Because it
fresh.
dries
sparkly.
out.
Refreshing.
It's not
Fresh.
it's not high gravity. It just dries way
Yeah.
out.
Just gets really, that yeast just does all that work. Yeah, 3.85 easy, really delicious beer.
Sweet.
Get a refresher
Thank
over
you.
here. Saint, did you get some?
Yeah.
Saint Diesel?
Yeah, I definitely got some. I think the aroma smells really good. Like you said, it's kind of like a light sour backbone in there, which is I like. Also, I love sours. It's a good alcohol percentage. It's not too high, not too low. Something you could definitely sip on because the flavor is good and you just want to keep drinking it. It's a light.
Support all that fruit, man.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
And then the light citrus taste in the background, like you said, it's like an orangey kind of light, real light texture. I'm gonna give it a solid 3.75.
3.75, nice little beer ratings there. Great color, really light, great aroma with those kumquats, and then it's got almost like that white winey aroma kind of mixed into it
I
with
don't
it.
think I ever noticed that.
Yeah.
You said vanilla. What was
Oak
the word?
and buttery.
You said buttery, and I was like, oh yeah, like a Chardonnay. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, it's kind of whiny.
Yeah, to me, that's what I'm getting.
I've never even thought about it that way.
I did something right in my life.
Maybe we should put some in barrels.
Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
there
have
you
some on
go.
bread.
So this thing we talked about, it dances on your tongue. It's really playful. It's just a really nice, complex, delicious beverage. It's not. I can't put it up with the coffee. 3.8. It's gonna match the coffee. It's right. I don't know. I love that coffee.
That poor coffee.
Did you 3.8 beers? That's solid.
Yeah.
Did I hear you say you had some on Brett?
Yeah, we put some of this batch on Brett because
That's what I'm talking about.
we couldn't pressurize the tank, so the last little bit couldn't get it
it
into
out?
the Brett tank.
So put it in a.
So we put it in a stainless steel barrel with some Britannia.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go. How long's that been going? How long's that been mixing up?
Since we packaged it in September.
Oh, okay. So
it needs a little while.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be a Funktown kumquat saison.
There you go.
yeah, you gotta.
Out of the last 3 beers we've
A
had,
Funkquat.
what are you guys? You talked a little bit, Lori, the coffee porters, but on your day-to-day go-to beers out of these few beers that we've been having, what do you guys like the best? Like, what do you always pour on yourself?
Can't.
The coffee is
the coffee.
always my beer. We just had a party, and he's like, I'm bringing home Smog Lager. I'm bringing home this. I'm bringing home that. I'm like, bring me a case of coffee porter because I want nothing but coffee porter.
Coffee porter is not available on growler fields, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
of course.
done. I'm coming
Of
tomorrow.
course.
See you tomorrow.
Coffee porter is my go-to all the time. I absolutely love it. I
That-
think that it's that perfect combination of coffee and chocolate and beer, and it's like,
Right.
oh, it's like perfect. It's a
Yes.
perfect beer for me.
Right.
Nice.
I love it. I think.
Porter, can you? I know these are all your beers, and you love them all.
I drink
equally.
Pilsner out of the Bright tank only.
yeah.
Once it gets into the keg, it's like dead to me.
But buy it. But
So
buy it,
like
people.
when we're packaging, I'm like, oh, I gotta get a glass before it's empty. And then like the next day I come in, I'm like, now what am I gonna do?
Good thing you make it a lot.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
make,
yeah,
it's like every week.
It's always
Bright
on.
Tank,
It's
so
always
good. Oh, we're so spoiled.
Yeah.
What a nice little saison. And to me, like I said, it's not a traditional saison at all to me, and it's really got this unique flavors. Even if you're not a fan of saisons, try this saison because it's
Yeah.
not what you think when you hear the name saison in my mouth.
I don't think most people even know what a saison is
Well,
yet.
and it's
Like,
such a broad, like you said. There's
Yeah.
so many. You could just put anything. Yeah, it's a saison. We just got all these things from the garden. Put them in saison.
Yep.
And it's like so. It is a very broad style beer.
Yeah.
And farmhouse, whatever you want to call it. We're going to take our last final break, come back with more beer to drink because that's what we like to
I think we're
do.
gonna go
Infinite
sour.
Wishes.
We got a couple good
Got
beers. We
2
got a couple
beers.
guys. So we're going to be
Sour,
back
big guns,
at
man.
DSZRadio.com, beer 30, 562-653-0707, Smog City in the house.
It's hard to choose. Love so crowded, it's hard to move. If I see this bad was about to move. Hey, shorty, hey, shorty, hey, leaving tonight, we'll be freaking tonight. Hey, shorty, hey, shorty, hey, shorty, baby, right here, she a firecracker. Yeah. This the business. Hey, shorty, yeah, we can kick it, we can get it, we can live it. All you gotta do is just kick them digits. Haters wish this isn't. Tell the way to dawn, we can get to the sipping. Roll up the chrome, we can get to the spliffing. VIP'd up, yeah, this addiction. Jump off, right to the ceiling. Baby looking bad and she more than willing. Well, okay, baby, play your position. Bottles all night, got us both twisted. So many women, it's oh so crazy. Hennessy for me, rosé for the lady. Can go and get loose, it's okay, baby. I'm oh so faded, we oh so faded. Hey, shorty, hey, shorty, hey, shorty, leaving tonight, we'll be freaking tonight. Hey, shorty, hey, shorty, baby, right there, she a firecracker. Yeah, I can tell you right now, shorty, you the hottest girl I've seen in a while. And I seen it around, it's about to go crazy and it's about to go down. I guess that's how it is. Tell your friends to head back to the crib. Yeah, and relax for a bit. Cognac, pour a sip, we bout to get lit. Up and down, she roller coasting. Don't stop now, baby, show your motion. The way that you move, make me notice you're on top of your game. These lanes is hope players trying to run game, but you're striking them out. We up in the club, styling it out. Limo outside, we piling it out. The time is now, we wilding it out. Hey, shorty, hey, shorty, hey, shorty, hey, leaving tonight, we'll be freaking tonight. Hey, shorty, hey, shorty, hey, shorty, baby, right there, she this, you firecracker. Cup so cracking, it's fire hazard. Fire hazard. Baby, right this, you firecracker. Firecracker. Cup so cracking, it's a fire hazard. Versace shades on me, I stay G'd up, ain't no waiting for me. In front of the club, got the A with me, so we toasted it up, got the cups up screaming. We got it on lock, ain't no hoes in the game. We're staying on top, ain't no hoes in the lane. Call us what you want, but don't call us a gang. This La Familia ain't never gonna change.
DFZRadio.com.
Tonight's beer selection is brought to you by Stearns Liquor at 4360 East Stern Street, Long Beach, California, 90815, with a huge walk-in fridge and the best craft beer selection in town. Also available in their new location in Bixby Knolls at 4100 Atlantic Avenue, Long Beach, California, 90807. Make sure you check out Stearns Liquor to get your craft.
Show, blown in it show, man, I'm blown in it show, blown in it show, blown in it show, man, I stay blown, I'm so blown in it show, blown in it show, real G, I do it for the real team, the real blocks, the real hustle, I do it like this, never trust a buster. Here we go, got that dro, got that flow, man, I'm blown in it show. Thought you knew, I'm about to roll, I'm about to go. Man, I keep it cold in the freezer, that's my swag. Yeah, my swag is just so froze. On the grind, all the time, yeah, you know how I do. I don't change, I just do me. Why don't you do you? I'ma stay rising, yeah, getting that cash flow. That's why you're mad for a motherfucking asshole. Oh, mo, yeah, I'm sipping, do it right, never slipping, dipping with that good grain. Got your dang good ribbon, gave that ass a good whipping. Then I just keep it pushing, can't get enough, she always creeping. Beat it all up in the kitchen. Money hungry, hoes fail, living in a fairy tale. Tricks up on my coattail, and they do it so well. Hustle for more amounts, pumping on another ounce. Man, I got that retail, then I just let it sell. Get that chips, I need that quick. Riding low, then I hit the switch. In the ride, I'm looking clean. Dip plane up in the whip. Rolling down, I'm bumping this. Yeah, I'm bumping this. S to the T, I pump a split. Do it like this, I never switch it. Fire in my eyes, see it blazing. I do it every day, and ain't shit changing. Fire in my eyes, see it blazing. I do it every day, and ain't shit changing. I live this anyways. 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 Fire in my eyes, see it blazing. I do it every day. I do it every day. Do it every day. Do it. Do it. I do it every day. I do it every day. I do it every day.
How we do it?
DMZ Radio, Bear 30. We are back. We got Smog City in the house. We thank you guys for coming in.
Yeah.
Thanks for
And
having us.
talking to us and getting me drunk. And we're going to move on to some sour collection. So we had the taproom collection. And now we have the sour collection. Of course, we talked about nothing sour barrel aged has been released yet.
Right,
So
right,
tell
right.
me how this is made. Tell me how this is Cuttlebug?
Yeah, Cuttlebug.
Cuttlebug.
Soft
Tell me how
little
Cuttlebug
friendly
is made.
friend. Cuttlebug is peach and apricot sour beer. It's 100% stainless. I call it a modified Berliner process.
Yes, okay. I feel you.
To complicate things and also keep the copycats guessing.
It's proprietary.
Yeah, it kind of is, and we might be
Read
the
between
only
the lines.
only ones crazy enough to do it like this.
That smells good.
But also, we change the process every time.
Oh, okay.
So we're in an effort to improve the character.
Hey,
of the
little
beer.
tweaks here, little tweaks there.
Yeah.
How was this beer made? Did you put some fruit in this thing? Did you?
Yeah.
Fruity fruit.
Yeah, we play a lot around with.
Oh, there's a whole other bottle right here.
Yeah.
All right.
Pass
I'll
that
get a little
shit
bit
like
of
that shit. Pass that shit. Pass that shit.
that shit right here.
We play a lot around. Play a lot around a lot with.
You plate around?
Those
play around
words.
with fresh fruits a lot.
Yeah, fresh fruit.
But I haven't really dug in enough with peach and apricot, so we go with our trusty old pureed fruit, which is much easier to handle and much more consistent for finished product.
How do you get that tartness so fast? How do you get that sour feeling so fast?
So that is our sort of house blend of lactobacillus.
Okay.
Nice.
Proprietary blend.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's a secret.
it is proprietary.
It's that wild yeast. That's what it is.
It's our infected lacto blend, I like to call it.
Woo!
So yeah.
Wow,
so,
that's nice.
so it gets sour pretty quick, and our goal is to make this beer as complex as possible, as fast as possible, which is why we don't put it into barrels. But I feel like a lot of sour producers put beer into barrels just to use them as a vessel.
Or to say it was barrel aged.
Yeah,
It was barrel aged for one and a half
I use
months.
stainless steel
You
barrels.
can
Does
charge
that
a
count
bunch
as
of money
barrel
for
aged?
it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, you
storing
tack on
it.
an extra $2 or
Yeah.
$3 just by saying barrel aged. Try that.
Right.
See, you got it all wrong.
No, but I'm wondering,
Marketing
as a
king.
sour drinker, I obviously have never brewed a sour beer, and almost nobody, even homebrewers, have never really brewed a sour beer. To get this much flavor and tartness and complexity so fast, it makes you wonder why you would put it in a barrel, just for those extra wood flavor, just for those extra crazy mixed flavors, or
Well, the barrels contribute a lot of things besides flavor.
Yeah.
They can contribute the character of the thing that was in them previously.
yeah.
Or they contribute micro-oxygenation because wood is porous.
Okay.
Oak character.
Yeah, I mean, but
Okay, and sometimes the barrels are the things that are infected themselves, right?
Yeah.
Or is it always added in? As its own-
yeah, so they can have their own like resident culture in the barrel that sort of lives in the wood that then inoculates the following batch. But in most cases, that's not true. Like lambic producers strip those barrels,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
steam them. And,
okay. Yeah.
Like it doesn't come from the barrel. I don't know.
Yeah. So this one, instant fermentation, right? Or
It spends 3 or 4 days on lactic.
Okay.
And then we put the fruit in and all the Brettanomyces. But you'll notice it doesn't have a huge Brettanomyces character.
no,
I'm
it
getting it
does.
more in the nose than the flavor, like the little bit of that funk,
Yeah.
but then it falls with the tartness, and then that the flavor is much more tart than like leathery or farmy.
Right.
I get a fruit flavor with maybe a little bit of maybe a little straw or hay, maybe a little bit, but not much funk at all for me. Really refreshing, and talk about dance on the tongue. Like
really good.
this one really plays around in there. Really a great beer. I feel like it comes in subtle, and then the sour kicks up halfway through, and it really kind of spikes, and you're like, whoa, that thing is tart. And then it dies off, gives you that nice little linger. Puckers you up a little bit. It's actually pretty tart, isn't it?
It's pretty tart.
Yeah, I was like,
Pretty
I'm like
tart.
thinking about it. This is actually pretty fucking tart. It's really nice, but I like that. I like really tart.
But it's not vinegar tart.
No, it's
not
not.
like
It has
off-putting
no-
tart,
no,
which
of
I think
course
is
not.
interesting because
Yeah.
sometimes when people drink sour beers, they're like, "Oh, I can't handle that sour." And I think that there's different types of sour. There's that beautiful like full-bellied fruited sour where you're like, yeah.
I get the question a lot. I'm sure you guys do too. What's your favorite beer? And I just tell most people like immediately, have you ever had a sour beer? And it's just like, most of the answer is no. And you're like, dude, just try one. Try something. These are the beers that leave the biggest impressions for me, and just really memorable beers. They're super rare a lot of the time, small batch, whatever you want to call it. Just my favorite thing to show people.
Yeah.
How crazy you can get with it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a long progression to get to the appreciation of sour beer,
Yeah.
especially the more complex ones. This one is supposed to be kind of entry level. I mean, it's low alcohol.
Yeah.
It's really fruity. It is sour. But it's like an acidic peach, you know, and it's not over the top fruit. It's not like burn your gullet sour.
Yeah, you definitely don't get that instant like heartburn or anything.
Yeah, you're not like. I feel like you could drink a bunch of this and not be regretting it. Although,
yeah, this is one of the ones. A lot of sour beers you bust open. You're gonna share it with people. I'm not sharing. I'm not sharing this one. This one's all mine.
Can I read my review?
Oh yeah,
Please.
yes.
Yeah.
Segue. I'm gonna bring it in. Hold on one second.
so what was where was the
Let me get-
review from?
So the review is on Beer Advocate
Nice.
that our operations guy pointed out to me today,
Sweet.
and I fell in
Thanks,
love
Ryan.
with this. Thank you, Tall Ryan.
Oh,
right.
so there's tall and short, right?
Yeah, we have Tall Ryan and Small Ryan.
Oh.
He does not like Short Ryan.
Not
He
short.
likes
Small
Small
is
Ryan.
worse than
No,
short.
No,
He
he's
loves
not-
small.
He's not short. He's just smaller than the tall guy.
Yeah, he's just smaller than tall.
It's a distinguishing character, but not a description of his size.
Okay. Yeah, I quote, "At the end of the day, this is all about cheesy brie aromas, flavors, and unripe stone fruit. Dry, moderate acidity, akin to a bite of that crisp peach that
beer
is
fun?
yet to fully sweeten. And a peep show, and the underlying weedy malt, neither a fruit bomb nor an acid bomb. This does a prepubescent ballerina act, tossing this slim 4.5%
dirty.
weight
Yeah,
around, not insubstantial, despite its low ABV, but ridiculously unshareable. Split 2 ways, you'll feel modestly cheated. Like only getting to go through the all-you-can-eat buffet once. Split more ways than that, you'll start wondering if you really need friends after all."
Man, out of work writers make the best beer reviewers
I think that is
ever.
so awesome.
Can we hire
That guy's
person?
my hero.
Hire him to write beer descriptions.
Beer labels,
did
like
he
the
say
back of your beer label, just his
I
like.
couldn't even figure out his
Did he?
name. I
Did
couldn't.
he
That was
say
great.
like something like eminently unshareable or some
Something
combination?
unshareable, but
Because I think I'm gonna start using that phrase with Dino.
I always want to share. Let me get a taste of that. Let me get a
Ridiculous.
taste of that.
Not shareable.
Ridiculously unshareable.
Cody, what do you think about that beer?
Ridiculously.
Can I get a taste? Can I get a taste of that?
I don't need friends.
Let's got my
I
cat.
got my
I just
beer.
need my cuddles.
No, but this is one of those ones.
We're
you know?
talking about the cuddle bug.
I told you guys I
Cuddle.
bought 4 bottles of this thing, and
4 bottles.
I thought I was gonna trade some, but didn't end up trading any of them. Drank all of them to my face, and I don't regret a minute of it.
In your mouth hole.
In my mouth hole.
I guess this beer does kind of elicit kind of like a edgy, sexy type of talk that you guys have just gotten into here.
Sure.
What's the ABV on this thing?
4.4 usually.
4.4%.
You know, the brewer's asking me
Oh,
what
4.5.
4.5, 4.5.
4.5.
I'm within the legal limit.
It's legal.
There you go.
Pours that nice yellow.
What else do you have in your
haze.
sour
It's really
collection?
nice.
So, I'm sorry, I really didn't mean to interrupt you. Do you have other
God
things
damn
in
it,
your
Dino.
sour collection? Sorry, Cody.
You've just bottled one.
So we just put our first barrel aged sour beer in
yeah.
bottles. It's a sour brown aged in red wine barrels.
Oh, nice.
It does actually have wine and barrel character,
Okay.
which is good. And it seems like when it rains, it pours. So we're gonna be blending 2 more before the end of the year.
Okay. Maybe do like a simultaneous bottle release.
Yeah, we're gonna see how long they need
Yeah.
in the bottle before they get released. So
But that's exciting, you know.
Yeah.
That's,
Nice.
that's around the corner.
Oh,
it
I'm
seems
stoked
like.
because-
Look at all these. Where do these guys come from, man?
they-
Everybody's been like this the whole show. Wow.
all the fruit flies.
No, there's
because they
one,
love-
and it
We're
just keeps
obsessed.
going around and harassing us.
You guys need to get
There's
better
more than
skills.
one,
But
they
the
love the
sour
sour
brown,
beer. Yeah, yeah.
the sour brown we just bottled. We bottled on Back to the Future Day,
Yeah,
and
yes,
so we
yes.
named it This Sour Future. Like this is our future.
I was thinking it was
So
be
this
like
sour
Doc Brown sour.
Doc
Alright.
Brown. That's just too
Yeah,
easy.
look,
We
You
named
can-
our son
Little on the
Emmett. I
nose
think that's
there.
enough.
Little on the nose. Little on the nose. Man.
Yeah. So it's called This Sour Future,
This
and
Sour
it's
Future.
currently bottle conditioning and hanging out.
Nice.
and then we're bottling a barrel aged sour blonde that we blended in fresh Riesling must.
Oh,
We did a collaboration
whatever
with a winery.
that is.
It's like wine, basically grape juice.
Okay,
They
yeah.
call it must before
It's
it
like the
ferments.
wort.
Weasling must.
It's like the pre-wine juice.
Weasley.
Riesling is like a sweet wine.
I was like, what?
We partnered with a winery down in Temecula called J Bricks.
No, they're in San Diego.
Oh, San Diego. I thought they were-
Diego.
okay.
Don't
San
insult them
Diego.
that way.
Sorry. Sorry, J Bricks. We love you. So we partnered with them. We were sort of connected through a couple of craft people, and they came over and we instantly loved their wines. We loved them. And so we decided to start creating this idea, this collaboration, and it's now finally coming to fruition, which is pretty cool.
So sour program moving along nicely. You guys have made the decision. It's in the same location as your regular packing.
It's,
you know,
no, it's
sorta.
it's actually in another building now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
See?
So 1 year ago,
Yeah.
we took over another 5,000 square feet.
You like the sound of things, right? Yeah, they're good.
That's good. Another 5,000 square feet. So we do packaging support, which is we store all like cardboard and glass and junk. And then we have about 300 oak
We're almost at
vessels.
300 now.
Oh, okay.
So we have a lot of wine barrels. We also have a lot of large format wine barrels, like
Yeah.
500 liters, like 2-3 times
The
the size.
big dogs. The big dogs.
And then we have the one. It's not really a fooder. We just I don't know. He's Benny.
Yeah, Big Ben.
He's big.
Big Ben. He was right in the middle of the room. You guys moved him over.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Right.
so he's chilling.
He's 21. Yeah,
You know-
he's a long ways away, but he's happy. He's good.
Right. You know, he's got a good home along with the rest of your barrels.
Yeah.
And the sour program, it sounds like it's right around the corner for consumers.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm really excited about the wine must or the wine beer hybrid thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be out of control good. I mean, I've had a lot of. Whenever I go to make a beer, particularly sour beers, I seek out as many of those beers in that style. And so I've been just calling, and like I don't care who you are, I'm just gonna call and be like, "Hey, I own a brewery. Do you want to trade some beers? I really want some of your wine must beers." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we got some." So
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
So
and then so what
Perks
do
of
you
the
what do you
job,
do? You
perks of the
just
job.
take a little
Sometimes it works.
you take a little piece of this one, take a inspiration out of each one to kind of make this great flavor that you're looking for. Is that what happens when you drink all those styles beers?
yeah, we try to put our own spin on
course,
sour
yeah.
beer making in general.
But
which
you're
is-
looking for what you want out of
Yeah.
that style beer, right?
or sometimes it's like, "Hey, that barrel's really good. I didn't start out making that beer that way, but it turned into something awesome anyway."
Yeah.
And how do you do the whole blending thing? Like you're taking sometimes something might have gone, explain blending and sours and all that.
For the layman, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
well, I'm so new at it.
Yeah.
Because it's
but
not just one beer always that you're just souring at a certain amount of time and then
maybe
it's ready and there it
that
is.
almost never works.
Right.
But maybe this beer has too much of this and this beer doesn't have enough, so you combine them to maybe get this kind of equalized flavor. I've
Yeah.
heard of a lot of different
Yeah.
ways to blend a beer and reasons to blend a beer.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of it. So if you have a big enough of what we've basically been doing is developing a library of sour beers.
Yeah.
3 different bases: a blonde, a brown, and a red, for lack of better terms, and fermenting them in different ways and adding different things and putting them in different kind of barrels to develop a library from which we can pick
Yeah.
almost like a palette of flavor.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's, wow, this would be better with something that could give it this kind of character, but you
Yeah.
don't always have that. Sometimes it's like tasting everything in the library that's the right color
Yeah.
and deciding what would work together.
Yeah. No,
I
it
mean,
sounds.
like,
Is that
It
you,
sounds fun.
Is that you just personally doing that?
It sounds
do you,
fun.
You got a
It's fun.
team, or you guys?
Well, with our very first blending, sort of.
Second, we did spitting and cussing together.
Oh yeah, we did. We shouldn't talk about that beer.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah. So
Or spitting and cussing.
So we've blended 2 now, and we try and do it on a weekend. We invite the entire staff to come and be like, "Hey, we have this awesome barrel program that you guys have all contributed to, like the brewer, the guy who's got to wash the barrel, and like all of those things." We're like, "Hey, come and try this stuff." And then give us your input.
Yeah.
And I don't care what your level of experience is, but I know these guys drink these beers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know that they have
And
things
it's
to
good to
offer,
have
and it's
more
like,
minds on it, like thinking,
Yeah, for sure.
What
I
do you
mean-
like about this? What do you dislike about this? And different palates are going to obviously pick up different things. Your palate may
Yeah.
be way more sensitive to sour or to funk or whatever.
Absolutely.
So it's good to get other voices in
Yeah.
on it, right?
I mean, I don't bring in like other brewers or like winemakers like they do with the Firestone Walker, like the anniversary blend. They bring in winemakers and things like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that confident that they'll taste my barrels and be like, "Oh, this is great." They might be like, "Why did
This
you invite
tastes
me?"
good.
This is crap. At some point, I'll invite other brewers to come and blend once I feel confident.
What's that like? How many more medals do you need before you're that confident?
We need some sour medals. Absolutely.
There you go.
You have to
Hey.
enter your sour beers first.
You gotta hey, that'll help.
We entered
That'll
one.
help. Yeah.
The one that shall not be named.
Oh man,
But it got
Spitting and
but
cussing.
it got great. It made it to the second round or whatever that checkbox is.
that is it. We had John Palmer on a few weeks ago, actually right after Great American Beer Festival,
Awesome.
talking about the process of how it goes. He said, basically the first round you can eliminate a few beers just by smelling it.
Yeah.
Off aromas, whatever it is.
Start.
Boom, those beers are out. To make it, you have to be that judge's top 3 out of that first round. So you make it past that first round, you're the top 3 of those first 10 beers. And then they kind of taste again the second round, and they all kind of talk it out, whatever. But it's an interesting process, and it's I think it's pretty big to make it to the second round.
For sure.
It's great. And they notify you of that.
There's a little checkbox on their score sheets whether it advanced or not.
Oh, okay.
And you get all the feedback from them too, right?
Yeah, but you know what? There's so many beers.
Right.
The one thing as a beer judge, I still judge homebrew competitions, and I'm very, what do you call that person who writes a lot of things?
Vociferous? Vociferous?
Use a lot of words.
I use a lot of words, and
The opposite of me.
I give a lot of feedback.
Loquacious?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I thought
Both
that
of those
was-
just mean, I think, a lot of words.
It means that.
Yeah.
And so the.
But these
GBF
are all good
things-
vocabulary. Like tonight, I think it's been a whole lesson in vocabulary.
That's definitely a $50 word. Come on.
Loquacious.
Yeah, $50 word.
sure,
for sure.
Indefatigable.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
That's like a $100 word.
Defatigable. What's
No.
up?
No.
Totally.
But
That's the word I use
That's
a lot.
what I do
totally.
after Thanksgiving dinner.
That's like one of those words I can read, but I can't like speak. I could read it, but
Feel
I
like I
can't
know what
like
that
say it
means.
out loud. Yeah.
That's like
Moving
half
along.
the English language to me.
Yeah, I mean, we just learned it recently, so we're still trying to catch
It's
up.
a good thing beer is a very short word.
Right. I can pronounce
Right,
that,
bro.
and I can pronounce that in like 100 different languages too.
Yeah, it's great.
Beer,
Beer, hop,
Yeah.
beer,
wheat,
beer.
grain,
Beer.
barley.
So
Love it.
So you don't get a lot of feedback from GABF because they have a million beers to judge.
Right.
So it's like nice aroma. Like, what does that tell me about this beer?
Yeah, like great.
Nice aroma.
nice
What is in
aroma.
that aroma is what I want to know.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
did you smell? Because I
Right.
smell this and whatever.
Wow, being a
So you
judge,
don't get that
you,
much,
you
but-
can just write it in then, huh? Oh, great aroma.
They're busy people.
They're
They don't have
busy
time for
people.
my. They don't have time for my non-medal winning beers.
They got like
Uh,
beers to drink and books to sign.
books aside,
Damn it! Is that one signed?
No, but I have
He has-
multiple
he does.
signed books by Charlie Papazian,
and
Sam
John,
Collignon, and John Palmer.
Yeah. John was such a great guest. He's
yeah.
just so
Yeah, he's super cool.
into beer, and he really can break down a beer more than I've ever seen. He just had it down, like from the aroma to the taste or whatever. And I was just like, man, that's how you break down a beer. Like I've been doing this show for a couple years. Yeah.
You're
That's
doing-
just-
you're
I'm
doing
not
pretty
breaking
good.
down beers like anywhere
You're
near.
pretty
Like,
good.
the guy really has his palate dialed in. I think that's a really hard thing to do, to know every single genre that well and your palate dialed in that well for so many different. I think that's just crazy.
And
It's
he's
a
just
lot of practice.
and he's just easygoing and explains things well.
yeah,
you know?
he can. Yeah,
Like I just learned just sitting around
That's-
him,
yeah,
and,
it
he,
was-
and he
it was
knows
great.
like we're stupid, so he's like
He's like,
talking
bam,
down
bam,
to us,
bam,
a
yeah,
little
like,
bit,
here,
but,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
not in a
Going
condescending way.
Very slowly.
It's like, yeah, so Let's start at the beginning.
Right.
But this is the
Cuddlebug. Super
4.4.
tart. Like I said,
love this.
I wanted to. It's really nice. Like I said, first you get what is it? Is it peaches? Is it?
Peach and apricot.
It's peach and apricot.
Apricot in a supporting role.
You really get that fruit. First thing you get is that fruit, and then the tartness and everything takes over in the middle. Really spikes up really nice, and then it goes back into that kind of almost lemony, orangey, peachy like flavor on the back end. You really get a bunch of fruit on the back end too. Super complex, obviously, but super delicious. Just enough tart for me to love it. You know, I really like tartness, and this has got a bunch of it. And it's a 3.9. It's my favorite beer. It's my favorite beer of the night. I love.
So the max is 4, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all out of 4, to be clear.
Do you want
This
to
isn't out of
change your
5 like
coffee?
normal.
I want to drink more coffee if you have it, but but
You
it's.
drank it all before the show started.
I just love sour beer so much and what they have to offer and all the different kind of crazy experiences your mouth has, during drinking one of these beers. And there's really nothing wrong with this beer. It's such a delicious.
Thank you.
Great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Pours that yellow haze. I got a little bit of funk, a little bit of hay kind of in the nose, but that's immediately backed up with like fruit and mango and like tropical
All the
notes.
good flavors, yeah.
You take a sip and I get a lot more of that kind of papaya and papaya smoothness with the pineapple kind of bite to
tropical
it.
greatness.
The tartness,
I'm not getting much funk. You picking it up though, but I'm not getting it.
The peaches are there, lemon, the acidity is there, but it's not overwhelming. I really like this beer. Overall, a great, unique sour with some really bright fruit flavors. Delicious tartness. I'm gonna give it. Am I piggybacking with the
dude? Ain't nothing wrong with it, but 3.9, dude.
3.9 beer.
Dude, it's really. What are you gonna say? Like what are you gonna say? It's great.
This is better than winning a GABF medal.
Oh wow! It's really not. Nobody's gonna come to your brewery tomorrow and be like, "I heard you. I'm gonna drink all your beer." Except
Just
for like,
put it on the bottle already.
Well,
Rated on beer.
Endorsed by
3.9
beer.
Beards.
Dude, GABF
Beards
medal
all
aside,
over.
we still have bottles of cocoa in the fridge.
Well,
you could put these beers
people
on
be
the
like,
bottle.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
It could
this
be
is-
like
there.
3.9 of them, but with like a tiny bit cut off the bottom. Be like, this is a beer 30
A little slice off.
approved beer.
You can do that. It could be a neck collar.
Saint Diesel, did you get some?
Yeah. Like Cody said, at the initial, I got a real slight funk off the smell, but definitely more fruitier.
Like, what do you guys get in funk? You get hay, you get earthy, you get
Farmhouse.
rust, you get.
I get that light farmhouse.
Like what? Hay or
like
horse saddle?
like a funk, like a
yeah,
real
I think I
light,
get like straw hay.
real tiny funk. It's real light,
Real light.
but it's there, and I think it tastes
enough.
great. You guys described it so good, like you said. Ain't nothing wrong
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Four
There is nothing wrong with this. damn
Four
beer.
beards.
4 beers.
Holy moly.
I think we love saying.
And all yeah, right. Everybody loves to say.
Everyone loves saying.
Everybody loves to say. And you know what? To tell you guys, this thing can take a beating too. I had one of these in my trunk, and it was like lost in the mix of the trunk, and I like pulled it out, and I was like, I told these guys, I was like, I don't know how it's gonna drink, but let's get drunk, and it was actually still really perfect, still drink
Wow.
well. So I'm not telling you to beat up this beer, but it can take a licking and keep on taking.
Nice.
I don't know why.
I'll tell you right now, I haven't had this beer since
guys,
we
buddy.
bottled it, and when we drink it on draft, it's kind of always the same because it's kept cold. It's in a
Yeah.
keg. It is very different from the day we released
Yeah.
it.
It's better.
Wow.
Yeah, and
I
so
like it
this
more.
is part of the experiment. We have been bottle conditioning with different strains of Brettanomyces.
Yes.
A lot of sour beer makers use like a wine yeast or something very neutral, but I believe in like an evolution in the bottle.
That's getting better
It's a
as you
living
drink
beer.
it.
And
This
so-
thing, it just gets better and better.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to up it to a 4?
4. Ain't nothing wrong with it. 4 out of 4 beers.
That's called peer
record.
pressure.
No. No,
Peer
there's
pressure.
really nothing I could say. We're kind of, for some reason, hesitant to put out 4s,
Right.
but it's like, Ain't nothing wrong with this damn thing. I can't say anything.
Yeah.
Give
No.
5 stars
There it goes.
unless it deserves 5 stars. Or
So-
4 beards.
Yeah,
So
four.
we started blending Brett strains for bottle conditioning. And I think that the Brett Lambicus character is coming out a little more. I think that's that little bit of funk you're getting.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
also think I don't know where the hay is coming from. I feel like that's just wheat.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right.
It's just
right.
a lot of wheat in this
I'm not
beer.
getting much, yeah, but other palates
it's
are
also-
sensitive to certain flavors.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's spitting out a little bit of sulfur, which means it might be going through like a little awkward period.
Okay.
Remember, these were in the cellar, so they're still.
Yeah,
these will continue to condition, and if you leave them out, and not in the fridge, they'll continue to change. And I'm actually kind of excited about that because I think it's better than when we bottled it, and I didn't think that was possible.
So you say drink it fresh though, but this may shelf well.
I would
Don't know.
I would assume that future batches will age better.
Okay.
Because we're getting better at, and because of our barrel program, we know the things that we're playing around with. We kind of know what they do.
Yeah.
Now, with the way that we treat them, which is very specific to our brewery.
Mm-hmm.
I can't generalize about it, but yeah, I think it's good.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
We've already, I didn't realize it was almost 8 o'clock already.
Burning time over here talking beers.
We're gonna take the really, really, really short break and come back with the last beer.
Let's do it.
We got to get some darky beer in us. We got to get.
We gotta go barrel aged.
We got to go barrel aged, bro. We're going. DFZRadio.com beer 30 DFZ 562-653-0707. Spit out all the things I got to spit out.
Who sponsors
Come
us?
back. Oh, Stearns Liquor. They got
Stearns
Stearns Liquor
Liquor.
always supplies us with
Yeah.
very delicious beers.
We love Stearns Liquor.
They're our guys, man. They love us, and we love them. Thank you, Stearns Liquor, for everything you do for the Beer 30 show.
And for Smog City.
And for Smog City.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back in just a couple minutes with our last beer of the night.
That I will never fold, and I'ma tell you how, and I'ma even show, and I'ma take it there, where it's never gone, and I'ma keep it there, the way it's always known. I spit it clear right here on the microphone. This is HIP, spell it HOP until I DIE, and this is S to the T. You know I rep for the streets to the death of a G, and never quit. No, you know I got to keep it clean. Be all about these G's and stacks. Give a sack to my Levi jeans or pants. Right to the fullest, smoke weed and laugh. Never know, 'cause tonight might be your last. Let's go, you know we straight shining, doing how we do. You know we stay grinding, yeah. You know we straight shining, shine like the city lights. You know my state city bright, right. You know we straight shining, doing how we do. You know we stay grinding, yeah. You know we straight shining, shine like the city lights. You know we stay city bright, 'cause they don't ever stop. It'll never quit. We ride it through the night until the very end. We shine it through the light, so see the cherry lid. Just another block, just another trip. Bottles down the nozzle, show on the road. I'm rocking the stage to my thing till I gotta go. Please believe you're leaving with me. Baby girl, you're so fine and a freak. Times 3. Now let's shine like you're supposed to, ma. Do it all day here, just toast and ride. Baby girl, looking good, them clothes is fine. It all off, it's exposure time. I love the way you move that body. Now baby girl, don't hurt nobody. Now put it on me, put it
grinding till we get the cash stacks. I'm strapped on my lap, no need for that. Got too many camps on the streets with gas. My space see the light shining, lighting up the nights with the rays bright, shining like some diamonds. From the city lights, so I love the city light. I've been a lot of places, nothing like the city, right? And if I ain't around, I'm probably inside bound, chopping it up with dead, cause death comes around. Feel the oil of my punches, I gotta lift it up, it's in my city. We got a lot of bums, money's my enemy, so I keep it close. Cause I feel the emptiness, so I keep it low. Yeah, you know we straight shining, doing how we do, you know we stay grinding. Yeah, you know we straight shining, shine like the city lights, you know I stay city bright, right? You know we straight shining, doing how we do, you know we stay grinding. Yeah, you know we straight shining, shine like the city lights, you know we stay city bright. Yeah, and that's how we do it, man. Yeah, grind, survive, strive, and get more. Live a life on the line.
Bam. Oh. Nice.
We back? We're back.
Welcome
That's
back.
a live microphone right there. DFZRadio.com, beer 30. We're going deep. You know, it's 8 o'clock and we're still drinking some beers. That's what we do best. See, he's working through the wax of these. What's the beer that we're drinking now?
We brought a little. There it is.
There's the microphone.
We brought a little Infinite Wishes.
Infinite Wishes.
Wishes.
Which is. I kind of.
That's another beer.
I kind
we're
of
making.
mangled it all up, but what is this beer?
This is our bourbon barrel aged imperial stout.
Nice.
How long did you
True.
age this thing?
This one is 12 months, so 1 year ish.
A little 1-year-old little baby, bottled and ready to go. When was this released?
So this one is the 2015 version, which we release every January.
January.
Yeah, January. I'm looking.
January.
I'm looking to Lori as a question, right?
As the-
January.
Is it right?
So
Well, I
that
just want
means
to make sure because
that
we're
means
doing
one's-
it again.
That means
soon.
one's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing it again soon, and I want to make sure that January is the right date
No,
to say.
it is true.
Is there a
But-
certain type of bourbon that it's aged in, or is it just a undescript bourbon?
It's a blend of barrels every year. This one is predominantly Heaven Hill. Our good friends down at the brewery graciously allowed us some access to some of their excellent bourbon barrels.
Okay.
Next year's is going to be a blend of others as well.
What's the alcohol percentage on this?
Since it's not labeled, I'm going to guess
It's 12.
12 and a half, I think.
A little 12%er.
Yeah.
I'm not getting a bunch of bourbon on the aroma. I'm getting chocolate.
Is there a little left in that one over there?
Yeah,
dude?
yeah. There's plenty.
I just wanted a little bit.
That's what you
Are
said.
you getting? Are you? Because my nose is. Are you getting?
Well, so this one was bottled probably 11 months ago.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Same on the taste. I feel like I'm just getting
Yeah.
a bunch of chocolatey. Warms the chest a little bit. It's not hot, but it definitely warms the chest a little bit. It's got at the end, it's got some oaky, woody, kind of lingering at the back, and then it's still. I'm like breathing out chocolate and roastiness. That it's really kind of nice. It's only on the one sip, and of course, this thing's gonna open up as we let it. But
I feel like the that vanilla character comes from the spirit.
bunch of vanilla.
To me, I always liken it to
Oh, there we go.
chocolate, bourbon chocolate pecan pie.
Now you're talking about.
And so it's not supposed to be overly bourbonized.
Yeah.
But it's distinctly different from its.
Now,
sort
when
of
I
cousin
first
beer.
poured it, it didn't have much. Now it's opening up. It's
Yeah.
it's instantly open. I'm getting a bunch now. It's not obviously overwhelming, but I'm getting a lot more now. At first, I just got a bunch of chocolatey aromas, but I'm sitting here, I'm making it, and I'm trying to get it going, and it is. It really has a bunch of great aromas. Cody, did you get any? Or just a little sip over there?
Baby sip.
I'm hitting the fucking wall right now. So disclaimers all around. Disclaimers all around.
Well, that seems to have worked in our favor this evening.
Right?
For the rating, anyway.
Everything's been so delicious. This thing, yeah, like you said, Dino, the aroma, it's, it fills your nose with that warm. it's like that warm chocolate, but that little bit of wood, but more the chocolate's more pronounced in the flavor for me. And I think as it warms up, like you guys said, we're gonna get a lot more of the complexity to it. But I'm getting a little bit of dark fruit mixed with chocolate, and that's just.
I get a lot of lingering brown sugar.
Yeah,
yeah,
you know, actually, that's actually a great description of that. The late brown sugar flavors, but immediately now that these things opened up, it's got plenty of that bourbon aroma for sure. You know, it's bourbon chocolate aroma, major chocolate flavor,
right,
with a slight like sliver of bourbon kind of lingering in there, kind of give that warmth of the chest.
Yeah, that vanilla bourbon.
Yeah, and then vanilla. Everything, nice little trail out on that thing, which just leaves you wanting more. And it's opening. The more I drink it, it's like kind of like the last one. It's just getting better and better with all the different contrasting flavors working together.
Yeah,
absolutely. This is the Infinite Wishes.
Infinite.
There is no limit. It's unbounded.
You need the echo effect right now. Infinite.
Coming in at 12%.
Hell yeah.
This thing is delicious. I'm gonna give it 3.7.
That's a quick trigger beard rating right there.
I'm fading now,
but I want to go home.
Yeah, it's time.
Get these people out of here.
It's time.
But the truth is, it's you know, that warmth, that heat is present. But 12%, I would not guess this is a 12% beer. This is so smooth, so drinkable for that high gravity.
Nice.
So
I like it.
You got your beer ready. What I look for in this style beer is more beer flavor than bourbon flavor or whatever that is. Because I'm a beer drinker, I don't drink hard alcohol. I understand why people love to put beers like this in the barrels and get some of the characteristics. But I personally want to drink beer. And I love a little hint of this and a little hint of that. The vanillas, the oak, and stuff like that. This is just... Some people love that extra huge bourbon flavor. For me, I want beer first and the rest to kind of complement it. I think this fits that category completely.
Right.
Of course, it's got all those chocolate, great roasty, delicious flavors. 12%, easy drinking 12%. I don't know, how many people can say it, but it's pretty easy for a 12%. Although
a dangerous beer that way.
It gives you the warmth.
Dangerous.
It definitely warms up your chest. It's a nice little. It's something that North Carolina, I would have loved it because raining 4 days straight. I would have loved this little nice beer. It would have warmed me up, and gave me those good down home feelings with all these damn flavors.
It's a sipper.
It is. It's a
Fireside sipper.
We know that these type of beers, a lot of the flavors and aromas come out more as they warm up. Do you recommend like pulling it out of the fridge for a little while before you pour it? Like, what's your serving recommendations for a beer like this?
Yeah, so a little bit cooler than cellar temp. I mean, you know what? I pour a beer, and you can always warm it up. Once it's in the glass, you can't really cool it off. You can't be like, oh, wait, this is too warm. I'll put it back in the fridge.
Yeah.
So
and it's kind of fun to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you hand cup it, and then your friend's like, dude, what are you doing to that beer?
I'm getting the flavors, bro.
It's beer. It's beer.
And this
trying to
is
smell it.
sustainable.
Right.
This is not impacting the environment.
Right.
Just your hands.
And you're not going to drop your glass either. You're good. You're locked in. You guys are killing me right now with all this great beer. I can't keep one upping myself here. But barrel aged beers for me are hit and miss with me because of those huge other flavors that you get that aren't beer. And it's fun. I know for brewers to play around with and make these crazy cool flavors. Big strong beers. People love big strong beers. But for me, a lot of times they're hit and miss. They're a really hard category for me. This it's got all that great chocolate deliciousness counteracting, and then just like the hint of all those other flavors lingering in there for me. That's what works.
That's awesome. Thank you.
A 3.7. 3.7 is what it's gonna get. Now they're all been up there, all been at the top area of Nino's beard rating.
I'm hoping
scale.
One thing you've noticed is that all of our beers, regardless of style, barrel aging, sour, like whatever the level is that they're all balanced.
They're very
Right.
balanced.
They're all supposed to be. And I think that's the key to beer that
100
you can drink.
100%. And it's
that
you know,
want more
if
of.
you visit a lot of breweries, they're good beers. They're just blah. They're just like yeah, it's a good beer.
Or it's something
They don't
so
they don't
intense, you're
pop.
like,
They
"Oh,
don't
that's
pop. They're not
interesting, but I
fresh.
can't
They
have
don't.
any more."
They don't have a style to them. They're just kind of a thrown together beer, whatever it is. When you drink a good beer, especially when you've been beer hop, you're like, immediately you notice. First, it hits you on the aroma. First sip you take, you go, oh, fuck, that's it right there. And then you really get into it. You go, okay, now that I know I fucking love this beer, let's really and then you make love to that beer for the next 10 minutes. But it's just what it is.
And I don't know if it's inexperience.
Face all in.
Yeah. Just man.
Motorboat.
Just
Motorboat that beer.
But I don't know if it's an inexperienced brewers or what, but sometimes it's just either like on the side of just like flat beer, like flat flavor.
Think about people. They put out beer they don't want to because they have to. They have, there's a bunch of breweries that don't have exactly the best interest in heart when it comes to the end consumer. They have a bottom line in heart. They have a bottom line. They have to put out whatever they make.
And some beers just aren't that good, and some fall on the side of just like really muted flat flavors, and some fall on the other side, which is like I just threw everything at it, and like it's just gonna blow one part of your flavor profile out of the water, but everything else is gonna kind of fall off. And with all these tonight, like you said, it's like well crafted, well balanced. There's a lot of flavors working together. Nothing is like overly dominant, but at the same time. Flavors do pop. There is a lot of
fighting for the top spot.
I had a eureka moment about a year and a half ago. I was doing interviews all the time, and every time I was doing an interview, I had to come up with a new thing to talk about, and something new and interesting. So boring. Just kidding. But as artists by schooling and by education. I was talking about how we would be in our crits and we would talk about our art, our photos, and the teacher would say, you made a nice picture, but why did you make that nice picture? And they'd say, well, it's a pretty rose. Yeah. And he'd say, it doesn't matter unless you have an opinion about the rose. What's your opinion about the rose? And they say, I don't know, it's a pretty rose. That's my opinion. And so it was very vanilla, very whitewashed, very boring, right? Yeah.
Somebody told me that roses are pretty, so I took a picture of it.
Yeah, roses are pretty.
Because it's the same thing.
And so I had this, I was telling that story about how, my history and our photography and stuff. And also I had this realization that beer is the same. Beer is art. And in that sense, you have to have an opinion about what you craft. You have to have an opinion about what you make. You can't just make a pretty amber. Yeah. You have to make an amber with a utilitarian goal, right? You have an aim for it. And whenever Porter makes a beer, he doesn't just make a beer. He makes a beer that's crafted with an opinion. And I think that's where it comes in when you're like, oh, that was a good beer. Yeah. It's fine. It's not offensive. It's not bad. It's not good.
Isn't it kind of like
great.
Isn't it kind of like a chef where they tell you there's no heart in it's a great dish.
There's no heart.
There's no heart in this dish.
That's a whole nother way of looking at it.
I think that's kind of what we're touching on here.
Well, so all of our imperial stouts focus on chocolate. That's why you pick up so much chocolate.
Because chocolate is good.
Yeah,
chocolate's dessert beer. For me, it's dessert beer. So like the Nothing, our double chocolate imperial stout, we focus so heavily on chocolate, and this is sort of the barrel aged version. We tweak it because we design it to age in barrels. You can't just take a beer and put it in barrels, and it doesn't automatically make it better.
Yeah.
But we still, with all of our big dark beers, we focus on chocolate because that's my opinion. Because I think that these beers should be really chocolatey, but in balance with all of those other things.
No, of course.
And she's right. I do have an opinion. I didn't even know I had an opinion until you told me about that.
Yeah, I came running home to him like, I figured you out. I figured you
I
out.
was like, we do. Have an opinion. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
But balance is always a part of the equation.
Yeah. And also, you seem to make beer that you want to drink and not what other people want to drink, and which is always another thing where it's like a fan, making beers for himself, like a fan of beer making beers for themselves, which is a great thing. Not just somebody making beer to make money.
That's just having a personality, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just trying to do something.
And I think that's,
Original.
again, back
Yeah.
to
It's
what craft
impossible.
beer is all about. It's about finding your clan. It's about finding your team. And we make beer our way and beer that we want to drink. And we hope you want to drink it. But we're not going to tailor it or whitewash it to be what we think you want, because I don't think that's sincere.
Yeah.
I think craft beer is genuine, and it's a sincere endeavor to create an art form. And artists don't paint pictures to be sold to the general public. They paint what makes them passionate, you know, and that's what brings people back around over and over and over again.
And
And
they
it-
hope that people will buy them, and like we.
You
we-
hope
we
they
put
support
beer on
you.
Tap in our tap room. We're like, well, I hope it sells.
Well,
I like
I
it.
feel like
You're like, I like it.
I feel like I constantly
We'll
do
see what
that.
happens.
I feel like I constantly do that. We it's almost like putting your art form out there and hoping that people love you back for this art that you've given them and this piece of your body and your soul. It's like you've given it. It's very vulnerable. It's very, you know, it's kind of scary because you guys could turn around and be like, I hate that beer. It sucks.
And like I
Sorry, guys. This one comes in at a clean shaven face.
One.
you know, but
That's a zero.
No
I'm
beer.
sure
oh.
people.
Oh no.
I'm sure
But-
people give you guys their opinion if you want it or not.
We ask for it all the time.
Yeah.
Gotta
We
get that
do, but it's still
feedback.
scary. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean. I mean, if people started saying really bad things about a beer, I'd probably stop asking.
But
You
you're
gotta
pu-
be honest.
You're like, okay.
You're putting
I don't wanna know.
you're putting a part of yourself out there,
Yeah.
and you're getting a great response. Do you call your husband Porter at home when no one else is around?
Hell no.
Okay, I was interested in that.
I do not like calling him Porter. It's like putting up
Thank
a.
you for making the show in public. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do not like calling him Porter. I was forced to call him Porter because if I don't call him Porter, then other people don't call him Porter, and then
Yeah.
it becomes awkward.
I don't think
get
you
it.
could take that Porter
get
name away from him. I think it's down. It's stuck.
No, that's his
Yeah.
thing. That's his. But that's not what I call him.
Yeah.
No,
It's
it's
usually
not.
nicknames to make
Honey
it.
bunny.
That makes it easy. So.
Well,
You guys
know,
are so cute.
you guys. Hey, say, did you rank this one?
No, I didn't get
We
that.
have a room.
You
but there's
didn't
a
even
bunch
get
of
none.
people in it.
You know what happened?
What?
Is, dude, wax cover bottles. We got lazy.
But he's working too hard. There's so many sound effects going. I think he's trying to send us a message.
bang,
No, there's
bang,
some
bang,
left
I
in
told
this
him,
one.
to,
There's
dude.
some left in
I
this
told
one.
him he
You don't
can
have
work
to-
less, like with less sound effects, but he just loves them damn
We
sound
need
No
effects.
more.
broken glass.
Oh, yeah.
What do I say, Saint? More sound effects?
Oh, so
And when I'm talking, nothing but claps and dings.
this is what happens. So we have contradiction.
Yeah.
We have contradiction hosting styles. So where I don't want any sound effects. He wants all the sound effects.
It's like mom and dad.
Yeah, you know, whatever, bro. Like
I
go
try
a-
to be balanced. Like
go ask him.
Like
Okay,
your
go
guys'
ask
beer.
him. You know, like one will say yes.
That's a good goal.
I try to be balanced
Difficult
like
to
this
achieve.
beer. Yeah.
I'm gonna struggle to open another bottle of this as we wrap this show up. I want to
Wrap it
thank
up.
you guys for coming in and talking to us. You
You
know,
guys have been
Absolutely.
awesome.
We had-
It's
we-
really fun.
we had a good
Thank
time.
I can't
We-
believe we're done.
right? Like we
We
could
could
just
talk
keep.
shop for-
We could just keep
Fly
going.
spy.
But I think everybody's
spy.
probably tuned out a while ago. Hopefully not.
I wonder if our babysitter is listening.
Yeah.
God, are they done yet?
When are they getting home? Can I order a pizza? You guys got $20 more?
I'm getting some of that Wicked Weed beer afterwards.
Oh
right?
yeah, maybe we'll just do. What we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap up this episode.
You can hold on to that.
We'll be back every single Monday, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, right here
But we won't.
on DFZ Radio. You guys won't be, but
We got phone lines too. You
We
can
do.
call in
We're
But we
anytime.
can come back.
And
we're
you're
gonna invite you
always
guys
welcome.
back. What we do each year is have kind of an end of a year blowout.
Yeah.
Beer Paper LA does it with us.
Yep.
And we're gonna do
DFD.
the year in beer,
DFD.
our last show of the year,
Awesome.
which will be early December. I'm sorry, early
That would be
January.
weird,
Yeah,
you
right.
know? I know,
Last show of the year, early.
Blowing
we're
people's
just canceled.
minds.
We're canceled. But no, early December. We'll invite you guys back. We invite every single guest who's been out. We've had over 50 guests this year, so it might get a little crowded. But so. We'll invite you guys back. We're gonna have an end of the year blowout.
But
No, we've had up to
In the
three
last
guests.
year, yeah.
We've had up to 3 guests per night. You know, we've kind of been really packing them in this year. So everything from hot sauces to beer and beef jerky, we're gonna have some guests in here for the end of
If
the year
Long Beach
blowout.
Beef Jerky is here, I will be here.
Oh, they're gonna be here.
Yeah.
Alex will be
Alex,
here
for sure.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But thank you guys. We're gonna come down to the brewery and drink all your beer.
Thank you, Smog City, Porter, and Lori, founders, owners, brewmasters.
If you guys
everything to do.
If you guys would have brought one of your Joshes, we would have gone
speakers.
to like 9:30 and got really drunk.
Oh,
True.
well, we wouldn't have gotten a word in edgewise
Yeah, right?
if we'd brought, you know, which Josh we're
Hey,
talking
Smog City!
about.
And if
I
peop-
can't do a Josh. I can't do a good Josh,
much
but
excitement.
he's pumped up. That guy.
He's awesome.
And if
love
people
Jeff.
are, trying to learn more about you guys, you have a
Right.
website. What's your address at your tap room?
Or do you-
Do you got some
Yeah, what
information?
last
you can give
info
out
Is
for
this the next
listeners?
bottle release? The December bottle release? Is that the next one?
So we're gonna probably do a release of the It's Sour Future before
This
the
sour future.
It's
This.
It's this. What
don't
is it?
listen to me. This Sour Future.
Is that are we
before?
we're trying to push that.
We're gonna
towards the
try
end
it.
of the
Do
year?
it before
We don't even
Infinite
know.
Wishes.
Yeah, we'll
We just
find
push
out.
it
So
out.
so
We'll find
ultimately,
out.
this is what happened. We released Cuddlebug, and Cuddlebug was crazy. Like
Yeah.
we felt like we'd hit the peak of what we could handle in our tap room, releasing a beer without selling it online, and keep
285
people
in
happy.
line.
I had
It
to
was
park
intense.
on like
Damn.
I had to
Yeah,
park on like a
we-
corner where there was like no parking, and I was like, "Write me a ticket if you got to. I need Cuddlebug."
In line.
There's a dude in the tent.
So,
Park it right in
so
the
we
front.
really we feel very passionate about our bottle releases and our events being well run and people leaving them happy and executing everything as best we can so that you come away feeling like not only did you have a good experience, but we worked our asses off for you to have a good experience.
That's cool. Yeah.
And you
So-
got value. You got your beer on
Yeah, we're
time.
like-
You got the bottles. Like nothing
And
is.
if you stood in line for 2 hours, we worked our asses off for you to not stand in line for 4 hours.
Our
you
son,
know,
our son handed out snacks to the people in line.
yeah, our son was passing
That's
out
cool.
snacks.
Nice.
So
it's a family affair over there. Huh?
It's a family
Absolutely.
affair. So Infinite
awesome.
Wishes
Come be a part of
was a mega turnout last year, and Cuddlebug has been crazy turnout. So we feel like we need to do some online sales to sort of diffuse the like mayhem that happens on bottle release days.
You know-
So
we
that'll
don't want
probably
like a Hunapoo
that'll probably
episode.
Yeah, I don't want any
Huna
banging.
poo.
Please don't bang on our roll-up doors and yell at us and be mean. We work really hard.
Yeah, you know, we need to shut it down. I can go on for about these crazy beer dudes who
Let's do
wait
that.
5 hours
take
in
it to the
line and
beer
do all that
couch
shit.
and-
That shit's crazy. We're gonna
Let's do
say,
that off air and we
Yeah.
can curse more.
yeah, we can curse out. Oh, you can say fuck shit, cunt, motherfucker. Well, I don't
That
want to
was
offend
not
nobody.
a nice
motherfucker.
word.
Well, true.
We can say whatever we
Well,
want.
true.
What's
But my
point?
grandma might
The
be
shit
listening.
word.
So.
What? You should have told me that before I said those things.
Thanks,
She doesn't know you.
Dino.
It's all good. She's,
My grandma's cussing at the radio right now.
she's saying, I want to go to bed. You guys need to get
I want
fuck
to.
off the air.
Hey, there you go. I want to apologize to all grandmas listening. I should have never said these words. We're gonna be back next
Go
week.
get
I'll
a
see you guys.
switch. I'm gonna hit you with it,
Hey,
Dino.
dude, my grandma could fly swatter, bro. Fly swatter all day. Wow. It was it worked. I
Taught you a
would
couple
not
lessons.
f with that lady. But we're out of here. Wrap it up for us,
Thank
Coach.
you so much, guys. It was awesome.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Smog
having me. Great to be
City. Drink local, drink craft. If you can't get to your local craft beer bar, then brew your own.
Grow your own, man. Grow your own too.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We'll be back.
It's the Beer 30 show on DFC Radio every Monday, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. We out.
DFCRadio.com.